These people who passing out these charges, they don't understand the hood sense of humor. It could be an ongoing joke in the hood that you don't know about. You don't want to hear nothing we trying to tell you. We waving red flags like, hey, it's a fucking joke.
When you are a lawyer, you're just representing whatever side you're representing in the best way possible, whether it be true or not. That's why they try to get them on everything.
You might have been playing, but you said that shit. You just said right after you said that, I'm the realest rapper that ever.
Do you not agree that you're the realest rapper that ever lived?
Are you fake? At this point, the rapper's like, yes, I'm fucking fake.
3, 2, 1. Hello and welcome to episode 58 of Ruse Radio. We are back at it again with another very special guest. Special guest, could you please introduce yourself to the people?
J.O.
J.O. And okay, if this is their first time ever hearing of J.O., they know nothing about you. How do you introduce yourself?
Well, I'm a musician, and that's about all I'm gonna say about how I do it. But
You can't. A true magician doesn't reveal his tricks.
yeah, because I do so much. I wear so many hats, but, you know, just J.O. I wear so many hats, though. Like he said, man, I do everything. I don't have a manager as we speak, so I'm doing everything for myself.
Yeah. I think a lot of rappers nowadays are in that spot where they don't have a manager. They got to do everything for themselves.
You want to know what I think about it? It's just the business side of it with some people. Like, I don't want to use this phrase, but you run into so many janky promoters. It's just like people tell you they gonna do this and that, and it's just, but it's. I mean, I understand people have lives and things go on, so the plans don't go to what you plan, but we still gotta come to a compromise. Got to meet somewhere.
Yeah.
If you came to the table with it and we came and said we gonna do this and we got nothing, but I know that's just how stuff goes sometimes, you know.
Well, there wasn't Instagram scammers back in the day. It was a lot easier to just find somebody who would promote your music, and that was cool. Nowadays, you get a million messages from
them Instagram scams. It's serious.
What's wild about it is, like, they're so obviously fake every time. Like, I'm just impressed that they don't try harder. It's
the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so and so, and I want you to pay to get on this mixtape or that. Like, man, get out of here,
well,
man.
Just like in the spam comment is a dead giveaway, because I'll post something and like I'll get 5 comments from like and they'll tell me to message some random account. Like, I'm never gonna message that account.
Man.
I guess if you were brand new to Instagram and you didn't know that was how it worked, that's when they would catch you.
Yeah, if you don't pay attention, they'll get you.
I mean, it's just like, it's so obvious to me. But if you had no idea and you just thought, you had old man brain walking into Instagram.
Because it's a lot of people who come to me like, yeah, man, I'm finna be on this and that. Like, bro, you don't know they scam me.
Or they're asking, the playlist thing's the new one. That's getting more popular now. Because before it used to be, we'll feature you on our page with 1 million fake followers or whatever.
I don't know how I got into one of those things. I don't know if I like got drew out of something in the email or something, but I went on my thing and I was on like 18 playlists.
Really?
But look though, I went on there seeing it was 18 playlists, and I refreshed. Soon as I refreshed it, it was 0, 1 playlist. Like they put me on there and took me off that fast. I'm like, man, I don't know what I got into, but that's why I just stopped going on all these sites and listening to people's music. Sometimes like it just got to be like organic, because you go to listen to people's music and you click on something on their page and now you get an email, you won this. Like, man, I ain't win nothing, man. Stop playing with me.
I think that like I think organic though is tough. Like, what is organic music growth in 2023? What even is that? Is that going and playing shows and getting people to know you in that way? Is it paying for promotion? Is that organic? Like, I mean,
that's a part of the game now.
Yeah.
If you look at it from any angle, if you go and get a deal, they doing it.
Yeah.
They giving you gonna get promoted. They gonna have to push you out there.
So this is the thing about the whole label thing I've been seeing lately is that they pay for streams and they pay for followers, which is maybe the followers, maybe not. But I know they pay for streams. That's like a big thing with these with these companies. It's
I
like,
thought that was a given.
but well, it's a given. But is it like I feel like that fucks things up in the long run because then that's not real. Like if they ever stop doing that, it'll look like you stop getting.
I get what you're saying, but when you look at I hate to say this so many times, but you have to look at how the game is going, and people don't want to look at something that doesn't already look like something.
Yeah.
If that make any sense.
No,
like,
that makes perfect sense.
Like if I go on to like me right now, just like I could tell you where everything is located, but I'm like I said, I'm doing everything on my own. So I'm in the process of getting a website and getting like I would have to find someone to put everything in order, like that. So it's like right now I'm just giving you music as I'm not like the structure of everything is not as good as it should be, but that's a lot of artists.
Yeah.
That's going on in a lot of places. But if you were to go to a label, they're gonna give you that.
Oh,
but
right. Like it's a whole package.
when I present it to you, it's gonna already look like we have, like I have these amount of fans, and we're gonna be able to put everything in one place and stuff like that. It's just how much time do you have, and how much know-how do you have to put everything together like it's supposed to be. Like
and then you got to trust the label if that's what you're getting into, right? Because different labels probably have different know-hows.
Yeah. I mean, they have different. Everybody is not gonna push you to the front.
What I saw something interesting lately where it was, I believe it's SZA, and she was upset on a video with something to do with TDE, and they wouldn't let her release her song. And I believe it was on Christmas because they were saying that it wouldn't go well, and she was saying it would, so she couldn't release the music she wanted to release, and it was something. And I was just surprised with TDE that's what happens, because that's Kendrick, that's Ab-Soul, that's everybody in that lane,
But it depends on how that's going. Like,
right.
Do they have people in those departments, or is it Ab-Soul, is it Kendrick, is it those people just making these decisions?
No, I think it's like there's management. I think like it doesn't go through, you know what I mean? And that's where it happens. It's like there's a disconnect between the musicians who are just the artists and then these people thinking in numbers and thinking in, well, how does this going to work in a profitable way? Like you just get lost in that discussion, I bet.
Yeah, it's hard to stay away from that. And like you said, be organic and be a true musician, but it's
maybe that is what's being organic nowadays, is being able to not think about that, even just in your music at least.
And just keep coming.
Yeah,
maybe that's what it is, because you're gonna get those instances where they say, well, I don't like this. That may be a song you can just keep it in your back pocket. If you feel that strong about it, keep it in your pocket, or put a mixtape out, or buy the beat, or something. It's ways around everything. It's just how hard do you want to work to get it done?
Yeah,
I feel like, but I mean, when you in a deal though, it's stuff you have to do. You can't just do what you want to do, but it's like I said, it's still ways around it.
Yeah, you can always find ways out of a deal and this and that.
Not just the deal, just doing what you need to do. Like if you want to get this song released, without, I'm not gonna say hurting the label, without stepping on their toes, like making them feel a certain way about you pushing this song out. Like you could maybe find a way to own the song on your own and get it out.
I don't know.
I put it out on like a
in the contract
or something.
If you have to imagine they would try to prevent that.
I always thought that when you do mixtapes, you could kind of.
Like there's a different legality to a mixtape and an album.
Not the legalities, but just like the the music that you actually put out
Yeah.
is not as much the label telling you what to put on there.
Oh, I see. Like it's more of a creative project, a
Yeah,
more like
yeah,
intimate thing
yeah.
than okay.
And
Interesting. That's I
but
always
some
thought a
people
mixtape was just like something that you couldn't put into an album, so you throw it to the side, or like it's just not the album. Like that's what I thought the
that's what
mixtape
it
was.
has turned into. But you know, mixtape is from
Oh,
the roots of it. It was I get your beat. I feel like I can go on here and do this better, or I might just
yeah.
jump on here giving you bars off your beat.
I see. So you a mixtape would be like anything you want. Okay, I never really thought about it that way. Like that is how it started.
And then it's like,
Oh,
and I feel like the music. Well, this was my understanding of it. Like, okay, the mixtape would be like pretty much anything that you wanted to put out, but mostly you rapping off. Say I wanted to go off of not Lil Wayne beat or maybe a Benny the Butcher beat or something. Maybe I freestyled up, you know, and I wrote 45 bars, 60 bars or something to somebody beat, and I put all this together. Maybe I had a song sitting around or an old song that I did and put all of that together as a tape. But I thought that that's how you did that, and then the songs that didn't make your albums, your projects, like your actual bodies of work. Mixtape's not like a body of work to me. That's just like
a mixtape. It's a mix
yeah,
of a
yeah,
bunch of different
yeah.
things on
Or
a
like
tape.
like if you wanted to do something for the culture, I
Yeah.
want I might be like okay, say Tory Lanez. The label made him do more singing on the album, and I wanted to come for the streets and rap. But that's just giving an example so you understand that the label may say, I want you to, just like how Daytwan Love made rap and sing, and they might sign him to sing, and then I want to rap for my mixtape, just
See,
so I
that's
can let
the
everybody
labels
know.
talk that kills me too, because it just sounds so weird. That's not what you're supposed to do. You just don't put constraints on yourself when you're doing
But
these things.
but if I see you for something, like if I discover you doing something,
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I'm not saying that I'm gonna confine you to that. Like that's the only thing you can do. But we got to see how high we can take this.
Like you see the potential in
Yeah,
it.
we got to see how high we can take this first before you start jumping in these other bags. You may be in this lane right here. You might be the best to ever do it,
That's
but you're not
right.
even doing it. You trying to do that.
Now, are you
This is
talking
what I'm
like
paying
if
you
you're
for.
okay? Yeah, so you're talking from the management position,
That's
like
that's
yeah, that makes
any-
sense. And that's the thing too is maybe they're even giving you good advice. Like in your brain, you might be like,
That's
oh,
like you
well,
getting
I
a
guess I
job.
am really good at singing.
That's like you getting a job,
Yeah.
and you go mop the floor better than you do. Like you did. That's not what I paid you to do. What are you doing? Mm-hmm. They're not gonna say that though. They might just tell you to get out.
Right. I see. So you got to stay in your lane.
I mean, kinda, but it just depends on your relationship, what you are there for, and I don't want to like sound like I'm trying to walk a line or nothing, but sometimes when you get in a door, you have to actually see how it works first. And that's like if I get a deal and they sign me because I'm J.O., I rap, I come with the bars, and I get on there trying to Young Thug singing, like, they're going
You
to be
got to
like,
prevent that. Yeah.
what the hell is this?
I'm sure that's happened before. I'm positive. I just can't think of any good examples. But we all know there's
I'm pretty
somebody
sure
who
it
got
has
signed
because of the music, but it's happened and been accepted.
yeah, that's
Multiple
true.
times because of how the game moves, but it's timing. It's timing. Just like even okay, it may have been someone that was bar heavy that got signed, and when they made a CD, made an album, they was doing auto tune, but it may have been the timing, and it may have right then when he dropped that body of work, it might have hit. Then you go back 5 years later and you're like, what the hell was this?
Yeah. Yeah, that's so true.
Like it's just the
It's a product
timing.
of its time. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of everything is. I think that's why it's interesting to study the career progression of somebody like Kanye. Is I feel like he's tied in with the timing of hip hop throughout the last 20 years. You just look at everything he drops, and it's all kind of in tune with whatever
That's
rap
why.
was
That's
at that time.
why when I talk to my friends about like trying to get into the game and do, like, it's about you putting yourself in positions to be able to do these things. Like he would hear about he might hear about some drill. He's the type of person to hear about a drill rapper that's popping, and he'd get around them. Not necessarily steal their sauce, but get creative stuff from the younger, and apply it to his with his methods.
Yeah.
He may even get them to ghostwrite. Right, he write them a song and he come back and redo it with his own little, and then put that. It's just.
I think that's a smarter way to do it because it shows that you're still in touch with what it is.
youth,
I think
what's
hip hop
going on.
naturally is a moving thing. You can't like get stuck in what it was. It's got to be moving.
And how the game works now. If you don't do that in some form of fashion, they gonna get tired of you. It's just you have to. I don't want to say leech. It's not leeching, but you still have to stay in touch with what's going on, because you can't. I ain't saying be 50 years old out here looking crazy, trying to wear Balenciagas, and but it happens. But some of them was wearing Balenciagas before. But it's just you get what I'm saying. It's just
you have to be. I mean, just kind of. I feel like it's a cultural like recognition, like you're just in tune with whatever it is at the time, and people either resonate or they don't.
Especially,
I mean, look at like music
to,
from the 70s to now. It sounds nothing like now, but it sounds like the 70s.
If you're trying to be in this game, you have to pay attention to what's going on around you.
Yeah.
You can't you can say that though, but it's hard because you could but they don't really. That's like a once in I don't want to say every 20 years or something, but somebody who just comes in who just make everything like
different.
Yeah, like just
I know
a
what you're saying.
trendsetter, like
they transcend whatever it was before, and now we recognize it as something else.
Like I don't want to say this, but like how Jay-Z was, like it's nobody who comes in and just be their self. Like me and my homeboy was talking about this. All these other rappers was coming in, they had gimmicks and all this. Jay-Z doing this at a high efficient level with just bars. He not doing this with none of these gimmicks. He don't need none of the chains I'm talking about 10 summers straight, everybody dressing like him, wanting to be ride what he riding in. I'm talking about he pulled Phantoms out. These motherfuckers went to start buying a 300.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's just because he's so cool.
Like,
but that's the thing. Like, you got to be yourself. I mean, I think it's just simply the people who are the best, the most efficient at being themselves and not succumbing to this, like, because
the machine,
you're trying to, you can't. I think it's kind of like what we're talking about. There's just a balance to it with the being a product of your time thing. Like you want to be a product of your time, but also stick out. If you're so much a product of your time,
still want to be yourself still.
Yeah, and that's what makes you timeless.
And you want to know what's crazy? That I kind of apply that to how I tried to adjust to what's going on. Like, because how I came up, man, like, the music scene around here is different. Like, when I came up, started doing music and started finding myself, it was like super bar heavy. Like super bar heavy.
And when would you say this was?
I don't want to give away.
Okay.
But as a youngin,
So it was bar heavy and people were coming, like it was competitive. Like people wanted to top themselves.
Yeah, like I used to battle rap. I used to like they beat on the table and we rap about it. But it's like when I started doing in the studio, I figured out I didn't want to do that no more. That's why like all my friends be like, "You should battle." I'm not doing that right now.
Yeah.
But it's just like
It's a whole different thing, though. I mean, compared to now, definitely a whole. It's a different culture. I mean, to me, I feel like that's what kills me. Is I wish I was a part of that. That's what I'm all about,
I'm
and
the
that's
type of
not the
person.
culture anymore.
I'm the type of person that if I start doing something, I'm gonna get into it so deep that I'm like, if I was doing this at first, I'm gonna have to sit down like, hold up, I'm getting into this too much. Let me get,
Yeah.
like so. I taking the steps that I took to get where I am musically. I don't want to even let up from what I'm trying to do and what I'm doing because a lot of people, I see a lot of people trying to fit in too much,
Yeah.
but it's like I looked at it like this too, because like I said, I was coming up in the bar heavy. Like Eminem used to be one of my favorite. Like I still like him, but I'm just not like now the music. Like I still listen to the old M.
Yeah,
Because
well,
like
old Eminem. Sometimes, like, I'll hear his new stuff and I'll forget, and I go and listen to his old stuff. I'm like, whoa, whole different dude. But like Jay Z too. I mean, he's very lyrical. There's nothing that's not lyrical about what Jay Z does.
I like, and then it's sometimes with that's crazy. And at this point, I'm finna make with Jay-Z and Eminem, people liked them better when they was doing ignorant shit.
I know, right?
Like saying and doing ignorant shit. They just, I mean, he still, but it's just then it was just Hov was like more super street, like super. He might say some of the craziest street. Like now he wants you to build your portfolio, and like he different now. It's not the same Hov, but he's still talking so saucy. You just got to pay attention to it.
Yeah.
Just like Eminem, he will give you so many metaphors back to back. You won't even hear maybe half of them.
That's what one thing I've always loved about Eminem's music is that it has this replay value that so much rap doesn't have. Like you can hear the same Eminem song 9 times and finally get one of the jokes the 8th time.
And that's something that's this kind of lost. That's a lost art, the replay value. Like
yeah, because they're trying to make radio songs. They're trying to make
I like to
little
call it,
soundtrack
and that's
things.
crazy too. Like even with doing that, where is the cleverness? And you try what happened to you still having fat on your bars, even though you are making like you
Yeah.
but they gravitate to those type of people who just, that's why the game is like that. Like with the R&B music. With the R&B music, everybody, what happened to R&B is dead, R&B dead. I understand why. Because y'all gravitate to people, I don't want to say slow, but people who's like they getting people writing for them, and they don't have that in them, and they just saying stuff like, so it's straight to the point. It's not like you're not getting deep with it. Like
There's no soul in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You're not getting deep at all. It's like you straight to the point. Like most what R&B song is talking about comparing a lady to, I don't want to say that, but comparing a lady to anything else, like something that you do or something that you love other than a lady. And who's doing that?
Yeah. I think it's I don't know. Is that modern? Is that a modern thing? Is that like something that's more and more recent? Because I always wonder if it's that there's always been people who just aren't in touch with what's going on and they're just trying to do this thing that's not them, or they have writers. The writers thing always kills me. Like that's why I can't get into Drake that much, because I've heard so much about him having 1 million writers and he doesn't write most of his songs. Hasn't he admitted to this? I haven't
Drake
looked into
just
this.
like
I know he's a big
super
example.
saucy. I feel like he just.
But he's not saying his own words. And to me, hip hop especially, it's like you got to be saying your own words. And maybe to me, it's what we're talking about. Maybe
you can
it's the
say
soul
that.
in it.
You can say that, but we gonna say Diddy,
Okay.
DJ Khaled.
True. Very true. But I'm talking, I guess Diddy's a great example because he is a rapper.
No,
DJ,
but not even. I'm just talking about
I
like
guess Dr. Dre, he
they
doesn't write
have
a lot
made
either.
it without even like you producers that don't make beats or you just put people in the like. It depends on how good you do what you do.
Yeah.
It really the sauce is really all it takes. Like you just need some sauce. Like I don't know how true this is, but I heard Chris Cross didn't even used to rap. Like they was just thugging, like thugging, really just
Well, I know
getting
there's the whole
girls and
thing
just
about Eazy-E didn't even want to be a
like
part
that,
of NWA.
like that. That's what I'm talking about. Like
Yeah.
they was just thugging, doing them, and it just fell in their lap. Like it's always those types of people.
Yeah.
Like, but this might be like Diddy. He wasn't a street dude, but he can still put this person together, put this person together, put you. Oh, I hear Faith Evans in the background and Total. Oh, you know, we put them all in the same place. Make the party, make the ambiance. Everybody bring the ladies. We gonna throw this money. You feel me? Make my artists happy, and then they gonna go in there and rap like they do. I might not have paid them 20 cents.
You're right.
But they gonna come in here in this booth and we finna make $1 billion hit. You get what I'm saying? Like it just, if you got it, you got it. And that's something that I feel like was birthed by rap hip hop because it's like that, but
I think
you don't really see it.
Johnny Cash, he's a good example of somebody who really stuck out within his, or Frank Sinatra, is another great one. That's why. But I think both of those guys are really respected in the hip hop community.
Yeah, it's like
they're basically rappers.
Yeah, it's crazy stuff. Like when you see generational talents like that, most of them are respected in the hip hop community, and they might mingle around, with the hip hop community too. It's just.
Yo, Johnny Cash would go hard on some 808s.
Man.
I know he would.
Man.
But I mean, like, yeah, it's a really interesting thing how people stick out like that. And I guess, to me, that's kind of where the soul is in the music, too. Like, are you inserting yourself enough into it to where it becomes, like, this representation of that uniqueness of you? Like, you are the only thing that can produce this. And that's what makes it so good. Like when you're trying to replicate somebody else, or if you're trying to sing somebody else's words, if you can't put you into it, I think that's what kind of, it's like as a human, we recognize when people are being themselves. I feel like it's just a human instinct, and there's something we really like about that.
When people trying to force it, you can see,
yeah, and it's just like there's some kind of thing that's just like you can feel the fakeness in it, even if it's something where somebody's going hard and they're trying their best. It's like, it's just not as resonating with the mind, in my opinion. It doesn't hit that hard.
Yeah.
Whereas when all these people who are sticking out in the industry, they stick out for a reason. You look at them and they are so distinct in being themselves.
You can say that though. You can say that. Okay, you say that, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people say art imitates reality, but it's a lot of faking going on too. But not to say like people are fake, but it's just like it's art.
That's why my name is Ruse.
It's
because
art.
Ruse is, everything's a ruse. The art is a ruse. You're naturally representing something that isn't the inherent thing, because you don't know what the inherent thing is. So you're like trying to represent it in some type of way that will resonate with people, but it's just an artist. You're painting a painting so that somebody can interpret it their own way. Art is this thing that's not what it is naturally. Yeah, I agree. But that's a weird thing to think about. It's like the philosophy of art.
And it's just, I've been thinking about this the last couple of days too, because of the the Young Thug situation with. It's like, man, especially with rap, man. If those people who was passing out those charges were like kind of embedded into what's going on, and they would know that it's a lot of fake rappers. Like it's so
like they'll
much.
say anything. They'll say anything.
And some of them are the ones that they giving cases to. Like I love Young Thug, but he will say anything.
Anything at all. It doesn't matter how true it is.
And then he's the type of person that a small event can happen and he gonna stretch it out, like make it in a song though. In real life, he gonna talk in so many circles, you're gonna be confused, like what the hell he just say? But in a song, if you can decode what he's saying, you're gonna be like, "Yeah, he was talking about killing somebody right there." In real life, if you knew what the hell happened for real, it don't even be like that, like you're talking about. It don't even be having nothing to do with these people.
He walked away and
Sometimes,
said, "Have a nice day." To
yeah,
the dude.
like stuff like that. Like be like, man, what the hell? It looks so good because this man did made $10 million
Yeah.
off of this song talking about tying this motherfucker up and throwing him in. And it's a couple instances where it was real, like it really happened.
So that's what makes them be able to build a case.
Not necessarily with that person, but I mean, you know, a couple too close to be true
Like you
instances.
said a street
but
name and there's a
some
police report.
people have actually made songs like YMW Melly. Like I love Melly, but he made that Murder on My Mind song. They said it was before that, and then
I thought it was after the case happened, and that's why he made the song. That's what I thought I heard. Is
I
that
thought-
not true?
I was hearing it was before it, but
That'd be worse. That'd definitely be worse. I mean, popular song though.
I'm not sure though, because I'm not like that actual instance of me even hearing that is what even turned me on to him. I'm
Exactly.
like, what?
It makes you kind of think
Let
like,
me go listen to
is
this.
is it worth ruining your case? Everybody liked it.
But it's just crazy though, like
Imagine how his lawyer felt.
cause he trying to push, they trying to push the case that he didn't do that, and he ain't like, man, what the fuck? As a lawyer, you looking over him like, man, you really just gonna. But
That's like OJ writing Why I Did It.
But they would never understand though if that was an actual coincidence of actually happening. Like I just made this song, just like the Biggie Who Shot You Tupac.
I mean, to me, like, it's an interesting thing because that's kind of what rap has always been. That's why Eminem was so good back then, is he would say, like, shit that he obviously is not going to do, but he'd say it in such a way that it would, perk your interest. It's like, why'd you say you're going to kill the Backstreet Boys, Eminem? It's like, you can't take that seriously. And he even made songs about that.
And then, and then like, okay, these people who passing out these charges, right? They don't understand really like a hood sense of humor. Like
right.
we might be joking about, like, okay, D-Ray did a joke about it, man. He was like, you need to start putting some police from these areas in these areas. Not like all of them, but like a cop from this area can tell the difference in a hood dude walking up to you playing like they gonna like rough you up a little bit, other than somebody not from there. You see this motherfucker walking up to you like, what's up, Mr. Cop? And he pull his gun out and shoot you type shit because he don't know you playing. But this motherfucker that lived over here like, man, if you don't take your ass on somewhere, I'm gonna arrest you. And you be like, oh, I'm just playing, like
right,
type
because
shit.
you don't know where you're at.
Yeah, like but that you can apply that in a lot of different areas. Like it's like that with music and all kind of shit. Like if you're not aware of what's going on, you can misinterpret exactly the energy, all of it. Like it could be an ongoing joke in the hood that you don't know about. And you done took this man to jail for 40 years. We trying to tell you, but you sitting up there you don't want to hear nothing we trying to tell you. We waving red flags like, hey, it's a fucking joke. You don't want to hear none of that. We gonna give you 40 years, sir.
Well, it's weird how the judicial system works, too, because, I mean, like, you think about being a defense lawyer, a lot of the time, those people are looked at worse just because you might be defending guilty people. But a lot of time, they're not.
Yeah.
Like, they're also defending innocent people. So when you are a lawyer, you're just representing whatever side you're representing in the best way possible, whether it be true or not. And, it's really weird how that goes. I mean, that's why they try to get them on everything, because you got the other side trying to make them look as bad as they possibly could.
Mm-hmm.
Well, look at all these incriminating words you said on record.
Yeah.
We can just pull it out in court.
yeah. You got to look at it from that angle, too. Like,
of course they're going to use that.
You might have been playing, but you said that. ass shit.
And if you're on jury and you're sitting there,
and you just said right after you said that, I'm the realest rapper that ever.
do you not agree that you're the realest rapper that ever lived?
Are
sir?
you fake?
Are you fake?
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah, what do you say?
At this point, the rapper's like, yes, I'm fucking fake.
I'm fake. I don't mean anything I say. I promise. I swear on my mama.
At this point, I am a fake ass rapper.
Just better hope nobody records that court trial.
Every video gotta have a disclaimer. These are, you gotta paint a little orange thing on the front of your gun. All that.
Make sure everybody knows. I mean, like, that'd be a great way to move on forward after that one. Didn't XXX Tentacion? He's still making music now, right? He's still doing things. He's a publicly known snitch. How does that one work out for you? I feel like in the rap community, that's like the worst
you talking about,
you can be.
Or you talking about Tekashi or XX?
Oh, Tekashi. My gosh. I can't believe. Silly me, I just crossed those wires. But yeah. Tekashi 6ix9ine.
I don't even.
The most brilliant rapper of all time.
I don't even pay attention to that. I did pay attention to that beat down, though. That was...
Oh, what happened? Did he just
Man,
get beat?
he got beat
recent?
down.
When did this happen?
I wasn't... It was like a couple days ago. He was at like the gym or something, and I don't even know what it was over. I just saw them Kirk Franklin stumps, and I had to watch it. I see this dude had to be like 100 pounds more than he didn't stumped him in his ribs like a couple times. He might have broke something in there. But when I saw, I'm like, I didn't want to watch it because I'm thinking it's like, Tekashi, he might have been faking or anything. But when I saw them stumps, I'm like, oh, that's real.
Yeah.
That's real right there. He was looking like Martin when he fought Tommy Hearns.
Oh, that's
He was
brutal.
looking crazy.
So that's the answer to my question. That's how it's going for him. That's what happens when you're a snitch in the rap community. I imagine, or he pulled something at the gym.
You can say that.
One or the other. I feel like they probably came up on him just as bad.
You can say that, but it's a lot of welcome snitches in the rap community. It's just so tricky. It's a slippery slope. You just gotta keep your mouth shut and stay away from those types if that's not what you like. Because it's so much he didn't tell on me going on that it's just you can say that, but
that's the thing about a snitch. A snitch is a snitch is a snitch is a snitch is a snitch.
He gonna tell on whoever, whatever. Whenever he can slime his way out of it, he see he need to, he gonna tell. Mm-hmm. It's gonna get real thick for you. But people just, I don't like talking about snitches. But
snitches. The thing is, people don't realize they're even snitching sometimes. They'll be like, "Oh, should we tell somebody about this?" Like immediately, no. That means that you're entering snitchhood. Like you don't want to be anywhere near there. Just stay away. Unless you absolutely have to tell. Like unless somebody's on the floor and you gotta call the cops. That's an acceptable snitch right there.
A lot of people blur the lines and they put snitching on people who that's a jacket that they never should have wore because they were not in that avenue that you should have even been calling them a snitch. See, it's a difference. Snitching, telling, it's a difference. That's not, you like, okay, a regular citizen or a rapper can't be no snitch if he like reporting a crime. That's just like some shit rappers don't do because of our relationship with the police and how shit goes. We just rather police it ourselves or handle it however it go. But it's just, people are telling people they snitches or telling everybody, oh, that nigga snitch. Y'all have no proof of these things. And some of these people don't even be, you got to be doing something to be a snitch, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like you have to be into some kind of activity.
Like you were involved and you snitched on the other people that were involved. Yeah. In order to get out of trouble. Maybe
I'm not saying nigga just go tell on your friend. Some shit happened, the police come, or that's his stuff right there. I ain't said that's some snitch shit right there.
That's snitch.
But if you not like fucking around, you ain't gotta be trying to be street. That's another thing.
Like if
Everybody,
you saw somebody shoot somebody right in front of you, it's acceptable to call the cops, right? Is that what you're saying?
it depends on who you are, what you do,
Yes.
your involvement in the situation.
All situational.
Cause but it's
But I understand what you're saying.
they
That's
keep
not
telling
snitching,
people that they are snitches that could never be snitches. Like,
but Tekashi is a classic snitch.
yeah,
He's
he's
a
a
classic
snitch. That's a classic by the definition of snitch. I don't care if you were not aware. You was in the camera throwing up signs and running up on people, and soon as it got thick,
Yup.
you start pointing fingers because somebody was doing it to your girlfriend.
I mean, whatever his reason wants to be, I'm sure it's just fill in the blank.
And then that's another thing about me too. Once I hear certain shit, I stop paying attention to the situation, so I don't be fully informed. But that's what I got out of that. Like,
Yeah.
you snitched on your homies when you got caught because of some coochie. And if that ain't tender, I've never seen nothing like that in my life. Like, bro, you brought the guys down.
Yeah, and you, for selfish reasons,
I'm
right?
talking about.
Hey, bros before hoes. We learned this at a young age.
This is the whole operation. Like, if you go to jail, if he go to jail, this shit's still moving. We can send money and go get your baby some Jordans, and you get out and get a pack and.
Yeah.
But motherfucker,
Maybe
you was throwing up signs and pointing guns just like me.
Yeah.
Go sit your ass down.
Oh man, it's just oh man. Imagine being that guy. Imagine being him. He's like a victim of himself.
That's another thing too, though. People say what they'll do until they get in them situations too.
Yeah, you find out who's really who. Yeah.
Cause once you get in them situations, it'd be easy to do things if you're not paying attention.
You figure out your snitch instincts, man. Like how much of a snitch is within you? How much
if you ain't paying attention, they'll trick you right into some snitch shit.
Yeah, they'll talk you into it. People snitch on themselves for things they didn't even do.
Trick you right into some shit to tell on another motherfucker just because you know something. And then some people just be giving goddamn information. No fucking reason to seen a motherfucker tell on their mama. Like, God damn, your mama?
Man, some people really do, right? They'll snitch on themselves for things they didn't even have to say. Like they're just talking about their day and they'll say some things and it's like, whoa. I mean, I'm that way to an extent that I have to stop myself. Like if I had a cop in front of me, I'm just naturally a talkative, friendly guy. So I have to think, no, turn that off. Don't say anything. But it's hard to do that for me. I literally, my brain is working at full capacity when I'm doing that.
My dealings with the police make me tread lightly when I'm talking to them.
Yes, exactly. You know the game, and so it's
and I be having to think. Like, I have to think at a very fast rate because they will trick you into saying some shit that you did not want to say. Like, damn, yeah, let me go back. No, that's not what I said. I said, you have to clear it up with them. And you have to be firm with your words because they'll make something you said be something you did not say very fast.
It's like having an argument with your girlfriend.
Man, very fast. Like, oh, shit. I just I didn't even. They'll make something, like I said, make something you said something you didn't say.
Yeah, they'll literally flip it. They'll flip it. I'll be like, no, I'm driving home. I got to do this. I got to do that. Have you taken anything today? No. And then they'll say, like, are you tired? Yeah, I'm tired. And then, like, 3 minutes later, they'll be like, why are you tired? I mean, have you taken anything? Let's try to flip it. No, that's not even a good example. I'm trying to think of a good example where they can really flip. Because it doesn't take much.
No, it doesn't take much at all.
If you were speeding, okay, you're going, like, 10 over, and they say, do you feel like you were going fast? That's a trick question right there.
Yeah.
What are you supposed to say to that? No, I feel like I was going the speed limit. I feel like... but they'll pull out some questions that are trick. It's like a lawyer.
If you get
They're
too
trying to get you.
confused, just say I don't answer questions.
But that's the tough part, because then they'll pull the like, oh, why? Because you're guilty card, and that becomes the whole game. Now
nope,
it's like
that's another question. I'm gonna just look. He gonna have a long night. He's gonna have a long night.
You don't want to say anything to the cops. That's just general advice. I think any defense lawyer would tell you that. And plenty of people who weren't guilty,
Shit,
they get in
first
trouble.
48 to tell you.
Yeah, just don't. Yeah, right. Watch a few episodes of that show, and you'll get the
don't
gist of
say
it.
nothing.
It's crazy how it goes down. That show's a great example, because like there's so many. There's so many cases that I have to imagine it really is those first 48 hours. You got
Sad.
nothing, and all you need is one snitch. All you need is one person, not even snitch, I guess, because we've talked about this. You just need somebody who maybe you got to get their mama in there.
An upstanding member of society,
Yeah, they're out
a
there.
civilian.
Civilians
a
are usually the
motherfucker that
ones.
ain't like me, because I don't even,
No,
911 don't even work on my phone.
you guys don't want to talk to me. You don't want me at all. I promise. I'll get really not interesting.
I swear I'm gonna make you so much worse.
Oh man, I cannot imagine myself in a police interrogation room, even if it was for something that I had nothing to do with. Just the fact that I'm there, I would not want to talk to them, because I don't want to even have them think on accident that I don't even want to disclose any information. When I was in 7th or 8th grade, I don't know, I think I can legally talk about this, but like there was a cop that accused me of breaking into a vehicle, and he says all of this, and I'm in like, no, I'm sorry, maybe it was high school, so it had to be, I guess, 9th or 10th grade, maybe. But point being, I'm like 14, and the cop brings me into the office, and he's saying that there's a camera, they're going to enhance the footage. It looked like I broke into this vehicle at this time at night, and I didn't break into a vehicle. So I'm just sitting here saying to him, like, well, that's crazy. What are you talking about? Like, this is not me. I understand that you might think it was me, but it wasn't. You know, I'm trying to answer him. Like, I'm just flabbergasted that I'm even in this situation. And I remember he pulled me out of class a second time, and he had me write a testimony for what I was doing that night. And when I gave him the testimony, he said to me, the first thing he said was, you know, I'm just going to tell you this. Like, if you ever say that you didn't do it in your testimony, that usually means you did it. Because I wrote, I didn't do it inside of the written statement that he wanted me to write. But it's like, I didn't do it. That's why I wrote it. I'm like, I didn't do this. So I don't even want to write a testimony, because I don't even know what I was doing that night. I was a kid. I didn't care. I was probably like on Facebook with my friend, or
Yeah, just doing some
nothing
kid
cool.
shit. Like,
I think I was worried they were gonna go through my Facebook messages and see me talking about smoking or something like that. Tell my parents.
oh man, the young mind.
Yeah.
You in so much trouble. You think about some, like,
Yeah. I was convinced. But the thing is, the cop told me I had to print out my Facebook messages from that night. He did tell me that. So,
Man.
yeah, he made me do it. And
was
I'm
just
sure I
being-
actually didn't have to, because I was a little kid. I just didn't know, like, oh, cops
you
can't
was
just ask
being
for
an
random.
asshole. I can't. They be,
Like, I could have just said no. I could have said, I'm not giving you my Facebook
yeah, I hate that
messages.
shit. They just be being assholes, trying to scare people, scare you straight. Like, what the fuck I'm being scared straight for? I didn't even do nothing.
That was my first lesson, was like, he pulled me out of class, he gave me all this, and I didn't do it, and he's trying to get me, and that's how false confessions happen. That's why you see these things now in the news. I mean,
You ever
that is
saw,
what was going to happen to me if I just wanted to get it over
You
with.
ever saw that show called Wrong Man? What did I watch? Was it Netflix? I don't remember which one.
But there was
it
a whole series about it,
Wrong. It's different cases.
because there's so many. It happens all the time.
Man, I saw this one where this dude, it was a robbery where like 4 people got killed. And I can't remember how he get mixed up with these people. But he was working there, and I think he got fired. And that's how they tried to use that for his motive. But he was like a cool dude, he was a bigger guy though, you know, like a taller, bigger. But he he had got fired and left. And when he left, they came in, robbed the place, shot like 4 people, killed them, and just left. Like no no trace of where they went or nothing. So it looked like it was the guy. And because of where it was, nobody like really even looked into it. They just hit him with the case, and he got convicted of it. But they found out that it was a group of young dudes, a group of younger guys
Do you
going
remember
around.
how long he was
I
in
can't even
prison
remember
or
how
jail
long it
for?
was, but it was over 10, over like I think it might have been over 20.
No way.
Yeah, he was in there for a long time.
Oh man, that's just it's shameful.
You gotta watch it. Wrong man. It's a lot of cases like that. But
Can you just imagine being that guy? That was just
no,
awful. Wow.
cause I've been in jail and I hate it.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah. Who wouldn't?
bro, jail. Oh my God.
It hurts my brain to think about because I just think of life as this beautiful, free thing that you
Don't
get
make,
to have. And
I ain't gonna make it seem like I'm just oh my God petrified, but it's just like you be around a bunch of niggas all the time. You fucking can't watch TV, can't take a shit in private. You, it's just so much shit that you take for granted that you can't do, and then you gotta when you get irritated by this shit, you gotta turn around and look at another motherfucker that you don't want. Like I could just be in my own private space right now, but I gotta look at you and these other 50,000 motherfuckers. Like that shit just.
it kills your spirit, I'm sure. Ouch. Oh my God. All right, I gotta pee real quick. I mean, I like it when somebody's a little bit wild, though. I like when somebody's like a wild card. Kind of fun.
That's my mama.
Yeah.
She might say anything at any time.
You never know what to expect from that person. You know, it could be a party, it could be a headache, it could be either or. You don't know. It's kind of like, it's a wild card. That is exactly what it is. You just don't know what it means.
Yeah.
I love those people. I mean, I find those people to be really entertaining. They're kind of like a content machine. They just pull stuff out in their life that doesn't even need to happen. Like they just make things happen.
Yeah, that's a good attribute to have though. Like if you want to be in front of the camera,
Yeah.
you get good energy. That's good energy to watch.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
I always think when I see somebody like that, like,
well,
oh,
if
we
it's
need to take a
captured
camera
right,
on them.
if they capture it right.
I mean, like, I think that's why there's this YouTuber, if you're familiar with Trisha Paytas. Have you ever heard of her? Mm-mm. She's just vlogs. These, like, she'll talk for 20 minutes. I mean, I don't know if she's still doing this, but a lot of her best videos are this. And she's just, like, having this emotional breakdown on camera and talking about how her boyfriend did some terrible thing, and it's crazy. But she's a real dramatic girl. You know, you can tell by the amount of videos there are. And it's just an interesting thing that she found a way to capture that aspect of her personality and throw that onto the internet, where it's like most people would just be, they'd go through all this drama, but they don't understand like there's a market for this. Because there's people who would pull those videos up on YouTube and like support her and comment. Like it becomes a little community when it's really just her personality really bleeding through. I mean, some people, when you allow your inner craziness to shine, it blossoms into something that it wasn't originally.
Yeah, like what's the Love and Hip Hop, Jocelyn.
Oh, did she? You educate me. I don't know.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But I imagine that just made her more special, right?
Yeah. On camera, it was it was interesting for her to unfold like that. But I mean, it is kind of. I have heard about how a lot of those shows is kind of scripted too, but it's still a lot of that still is the real you because if it was another person doing those things, it probably wouldn't go like that. Just like, okay, I mean, Love and Hip Hop was good for Jocelyn too. It blew her up and all that. But everything that she was trying to be and that they was trying to push her to be, that's what Cardi B ended up being. And she kind of don't like that, but I mean, it's like it is what it is. You got famous for what you got famous for. That's just
Yeah.
how it go. You never know. Just like I might get on, but that's why what we were saying about how the labels control what you're doing is kind of a bad thing because you never know. Like that song that she was trying to put out, that might be the one. They don't know just because they don't think, but just like she think it might, that energy might go the other way. It might not be the one.
See, okay, it's for me, it's this thing where it's like, I just think the best stuff comes from when you're not trying to make something that is the one. And so, like, when you have these label restraints and you got all these guardrails on, now you don't have that creative expression that you had before in a way. Like, what I like to do when I'm writing a song is I'll just hear a beat and I'm just making whatever works for that song. It's a sonic thing. It's like I can hear the sounds that should go over that beat. And then when I'm recording, I'll like experiment with my voice and things like this. 'Cause I'll find it. I'll find the right thing for this song. Where it's like you can't do that if you have too many voices in your head telling you too many different things. And so I don't know. I mean, I just would struggle with it so bad because to me, that's where the beauty is somewhere in that magic moment when I just pull these random words out and that's the song. I'm not trying to make anything. That's just it making itself, and I just allow it to happen. Like
That's
that's
crazy.
what it is
That you
to
would
me.
say that, and you gonna make me start recording more when I don't fit. Cause I'm trying. It's just I don't know what it is. It's something in me lately that I just when I don't feel like recording, I just go do something else. But I can all like I got right by my bed. I could just wake up. I really could lay down in my bed and record if I wanted to. Type, but it's just like I don't. But it really, I be trying to wear so many hats, and I be trying to be the designer for my covers and do this and trying to make my own design for my merch, and I'm doing everything pretty much. So it's just like all the way down to like my beat selection and all like
Yeah.
I've always wanted to do a project where somebody just there was, I ain't gonna say over me, but you know, maybe like a Diddy situation where somebody came in, picked the beats out.
Well, even like how Drake has E40. Is that the right? I hope I got Drake's name right. I might have got the wrong producer name there. Is it right?
No,
E40? We'll
Drake
find out.
40.
Drake and 40. E40. Maybe E40 is the wrong part. Drake and 40.
Yeah,
I don't know.
E40 is the rapper.
There we go. I knew something was
Yeah,
wrong.
yeah.
Drake with 40. That's what they got. And I feel like that's kind of somewhere where that magic sauce is like a lot of those early Drake hits were just Drake and 40, and they kind of had this thing where Drake probably didn't have to even worry about finding a beat. That whole part was sectioned off to this guy who just understood what he was trying to do,
I don't think I'm
or
not
at least
sure.
like the songs they made together.
I'm not sure if 40 picked the beats.
Was he just the producer?
I thought 40. That's what, man. I don't really.
I thought he made the beats. I might be wrong.
This is another thing with me too, man. I've been rapping so long that I do not really be in tune with the like. I would. It's to a certain extent. I would be listening to Drake, and then I would just completely shut Drake off because I'm in a space trying to make creative music myself. Like I don't know what it is. Like I could love some music. I was just telling my bro this the other day. Like I could love some music, be riding to it every day faithfully, and then just totally forget it. And then it'll pop up, and I'll be like, "Dang, I used to love that song," but I forget about like me, the block that made me like totally. I don't even remember certain blocks of words where I was just through the whole song, saying the whole song. I'm like, I didn't forgot this whole song, and I only just remember a little bit now because I was trying to go in on my own music. You know, like it just been like that for so long for me. It just be like I have. That's why when people ask me stuff like your favorite rappers and your top 10 rappers, like I can sit here and try to give you that, but I don't. I mean, it probably outside of the Hove and a couple other people, it really you probably wouldn't understand because I'm gonna say somebody so hood and underground. Like man, it just I just be all over the place with the music anyway though. So, but it's just like I like super street music right now though. So it's just bad.
See, my problem is I rarely listen to music for. I feel like it's. I didn't know why for the longest time, and I've realized that is it. It's that I'm like almost trying to not infect myself with all this other stuff. Like I know that what I'm doing is entirely me because I'm not even. I'm mostly listening to podcasts.
I wouldn't say infect. You probably so focused on you that you don't wanna.
I mean, I love music though. I
Yeah,
love a
yeah.
good
Like
song.
music is because it make you feel good and it's good to hear. And
But I really resonate with you saying you have to turn it off just to not overdo it.
I've been like that for so long though. Like people be buying albums and stuff. Like I like I used to buy albums from time to time, but it'd be like nobody liked what I like. Like I like body of work. Like people would like albums, and I would listen to them and be like, "That's not what I like." It's
Sounded
only
more like a mixtape than a body of work.
yeah. It's more. It's like 4 songs on there and a skit. I like a skit more than a song on this album. That's not working for me.
Right.
I like type of CDs that you could play. Well, back then it was CDs, but albums that you could play. I don't know why it's still called album CDs. That's crazy.
Yeah, I guess that's outdated now, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, when you said it, I didn't think anything, but now that you put it that way, like, yeah, there aren't really CDs anymore, are there? Are they doing actual CD sales, a lot of these guys? I don't even think that's
I
probably...
heard somebody say that
gotta
it's
be
always
low.
good to do those.
Well,
But
I see artists selling vinyl now even.
Yeah, I don't, but
But like, who has a CD player? My computer, when you buy it, it doesn't have a disc tray in it anymore. You have to buy an attachment. That's how most modern towers are now. Most modern towers.
That's
and
crazy.
Yeah, I thought that was crazy. But think about it. I've never ever needed to put a disc in that thing. Not even once. There's never been a moment where I was like, oh damn, like.
let me make a disc. I'm like, what? You don't even, the DJ don't even need, they can put the little file in.
Yeah, it's a USB now.
Yeah,
this doesn't exist. So, like, I mean, I don't know. But I guess the only place you're going to really see them now would be inside of a car. And I wonder if the most modern cars do have disc trays. Because I'm going to start guessing they don't, but maybe they do. The whole thing with the computer is there's just extra room if you don't put it on there.
No, ain't nobody, how files are. You have so much music. It's like you don't even need a CD.
Yeah.
It's like so much music could be right there in your phone. 500 albums.
I know. Before it was a Walkman, that was the only way you were going to be walking around with the music. It was,
Man.
you had to have that CD inside of a portable CD player.
Started talking about the Walkman.
These kids don't know. These kids have literally no idea.
They don't know.
They're spoiled on that regard. They don't know what it... And I think that's honestly... I heard people talk about this in a podcast recently. I think it was Destiny... one of these Destiny No Jumper things he's been doing. I can't remember who they were talking with, though. And it was all about how, like, music used to be this physical thing that you would go and pick it up. And when an album came out, like... you were listening to the whole album on the way home, track by track by track. Like the first time you put that CD in, it's like you finally got the CD. You had to wait to get the CD, and then you got the CD, and now you're putting the CD in. Now you're listening to it. So like it was a whole different experience that you would go through when you would hear this new album from this artist you liked. Whereas now it's like it's just a file that you see on your phone. It's unlocked on a certain day, and you can pop it on a playlist on Spotify.
Yeah, the experience is different.
It's completely different.
Very different.
And maybe that's where this disconnect comes with like albums, and you don't really see as much of like an album structure. and a lot of these newer
Maybe
artists' material.
maybe it's the quality of music, like I was saying earlier too,
Yeah.
because y'all taking shortcuts. It's no fat on. It's a few people that make heavy music, but it's just not heavy no more.
No.
A lot of the styles is saying nothing while saying something.
And it doesn't culminate to anything. Like even just beyond an album, like I feel like a lot of people just aren't writing for any particular reason. Like there's no method to the madness at all. They're just throwing words on a page, and that's like, to me it's always been this thing where it's like you find you're doing something in there. Like you got to be doing something, or else otherwise why are you writing it? But I just feel like some people it's like a clout thing. It's like a this is just so I have something to do type of thing. Like there's no passion or soul inside of the words, and it comes through. I mean, it all just comes out that way when you're that guy. But it's it just, I see it all over the place, and that's why I was saying earlier. I wonder if that's modern or if it's always been this way. Because
It might just be modern. I don't know. It takes certain type of people to stop that from happening to them, because I wouldn't say it's modern, but it's like a standard kind of that you have to fit into this cookie cutter
yeah,
shape.
yeah.
So people trying to be themselves, you have to be a different type of person to want to put that out there. And it's just like,
And like, what's the story you're trying to tell? What is yourself? Like, what is that story that you're pulling out? I mean, I always praise Kendrick on my podcast, but this is one of the things he does the best is he tells a different story in each one of his projects. Like everything is a piece. It's not just one song.
people not making projects and albums no more either. Like, okay, like I just heard somebody say this about, I love ESTG though. On doggone Joe Budden podcast was like, he got a song called I Hope You Die in the Hospital or something, but it was like a girl song.
Great name.
I hope you die out of surgery or something, but it was like a singing, like it didn't fit the
title.
Yeah, and it's like I'm just using that for example, but a lot of people are doing things like that.
Yeah.
They just take one bar, the best bar out of the song, and name the song that, and the song's not talking nothing about what you named it, or it's just a lot of that going on. And I guess it is just this time, because it's to the point where I don't even care to want to drop a project.
Yeah.
I can just drop singles.
Well, this is the thing that I heard that makes sense of it, because I was old school in that regard for the longest time. I was thinking, like, why would I ever, like, I want to put out a body of work so I can just, put out all this stuff for everybody all at once. They can listen to all of this, and it's all representing this bigger thing because it's a body of work. But I heard somebody say, shout out Crackalack, he does a bunch of, like, YouTube artist marketing stuff. He lives right in Lansing, so he's not far from here, but he's got great music videos. He mainly what he does is film music videos, but he also posts like content about marketing and music and all this. But he said, like, don't drop an album, drop singles, because think about it this way. When you drop that album, you're going to only get streams mainly on those first 3 tracks. Because if they're pulling up the album, they're just going to start it from the beginning. They'll get bored and they'll stop listening unless they're a big fan of you. So if you got a big fan base, that's when you want to drop the album. But until then,
it don't even matter how you talking really. If like you have other rapper friends. If you would see the numbers usually, if you drop a project annually, the numbers will show you that. Soon as they get uninterested, soon as they get, I wouldn't even say the 5, like you said, the first 3 maybe.
it happens fast.
Yeah.
And it's not like back then where there was this big attention span with music where you want to listen to this album. You went and got it.
Nobody making them kind of albums no more.
Yeah.
Nobody. It might be that hype around once, and then y'all overhyping everything, man. They overhyping everything, man. So they thinking, Just like with the House Party movie remake, everybody overhyping it, making LeBron got something to do with it. It's gonna be like the classic. No, don't think that. Don't think it's gonna
That's
be
how
like
they
the
get
first.
you. That's how they get you.
Just
'Cause then
watch
everybody
this.
watches it and they're all like, ah.
Watch this movie. Yeah, watch this movie for what it is. It's the House Party remake.
Yeah.
Like, don't go
Don't
in
get
there
your
and think.
hopes up. Yeah, because when you get your hopes up, you're just destining yourself for failure. That's just a rule of life. Like, do not let your hopes go high.
Especially on some stupid mess.
Yeah. Well, like movie remakes are a great example because it's like, dude, when are they ever good? When? It's probably like a 5% success rate, if
I
that.
mean, they be good, but it's just not the same.
So, and
It's
it
not
becomes
gonna
the
be
question of like,
same.
why is this even worth watching if I can just watch the original? Like, why? Why?
But they might, some of them, like you said. But this is what I like about movies too. Some of them be trash at first, and then when you go back and watch them, like, oh shit, I missed that. And
That's true.
and you find jewels, and like that's a lot. A lot of the remakes too that have been made. People go back and watch them and be like, I ain't see that. I didn't peep that. I didn't. It'd be a lot of that going on too, and people be scared to admit that they
Liked it.
yeah.
You can't say anything good
Yeah.
about it. I mean, what's a good remake that's come out recently? Can you put me on game? Can you give me one?
A good remake.
I want to watch one. I want to break my rule. I want to find them.
I can't even think of no remakes right now.
I mean, like, even when they brought Jurassic Park back and they did all these Jurassic World movies, that ain't the same. Like, you just let it die.
That's crazy because I love them movies. I love all of the movies, but the first, what you said, man, is crazy. That is crazy with all these graphics and extra green suits. It still ain't messing with them older Jurassic Parks.
Ain't that crazy?
I don't, and that's a big robot. You know it, like
Yeah.
I know that it moved like it a little bit, but it's still when I'm come and eat dog off the toilet, you still be like, oh my god, oh my god.
That movie's timeless. It really is because, like, I mean, it's the same thing with the movie like Star Wars. Star Wars was the first real good CGI that we had.
I never watched no Star Wars.
Dude, I just recently watched them, and so let me tell you, as someone who waited a really long time to watch Star Wars myself, it was a great time because, like, if I didn't know shit about it, so I was like thinking, okay, well, these are
where you start at, like the beginning,
episode 3, because it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You start at episode 4. You go by the chronological order, so it's like when they first came out. I mean, like what the years they were released is when you want to watch them by, because the first 3 movies, it's kind of hard to phrase it the right way because it's 1, 2, 3, but those are the prequels that came out after 4, 5, and 6. 4, 5, and 6 were the first 3 movies that came out in like the 77, 79, and 81, something like that. And then the prequels came out in the late 90s, way after the first 3 movies. So there's this long time gap between those. A lot of people don't like the prequels as much. I didn't like the prequels as much. So if you watch the first classics before the other ones, you'll understand what it was. You know, if you watch the prequels first, you wouldn't get it. Because it's kind of like a thing where you have to imagine yourself at that time. Like, there ain't anything out like that. Like, sci-fi is not that. They don't have space epics with these characters that are all like, in this political war. Like, that doesn't exist. So it's just this grand idea. And like, when you look at it that way, and you just think about the time it was released, like, the CGI is crazy good. It's just like Jurassic Park in that way, where it's like, wow, it's good no matter how you look at it.
Okay.
To the point where you watch the new ones and they're kind of overdoing it. Like,
Yeah,
they already did it back in the 80s
yeah,
and it looked
yeah.
great. You're trying to computer generate every single thing. Christopher Nolan, I think, is the only director I can think of that he refuses to do anything but practical CGI, which is crazy to think about with Inception. If you've
We
seen
have
that movie.
to sit down and get. I love movie talk.
I know you like
movie
movies.
talk. I love movie talk. I'm telling you, man. We have to sit down and take some notes, though. I ain't come with that on my brain. We could have put that together, though. Man,
Oh, dude, we could do a whole movie podcast.
For real, I really, man.
I need more people to
wanna
talk
know
to movies. I love movies.
You want to know something crazy? Me and my I ain't want to let the idea out, but I think somebody already did it by now. me and my uncle's his fiance now, but at the time was his girlfriend. We used to be around the house joking like so. I just wake up, say a line off a movie, and point at her, and she'd have to guess what movie it was. We like we gonna make a movie. Like we both would be doing it though, so it'd be like we gonna make a game called Name That Nigga Movie. But I think somebody did that. It's just like we always used to do that, but though it was always with all any kind of movies though, because we always me and her had to have a different kind of like how people around here watch movies weird. Like they don't understand a lot of certain kind of humor. They don't understand a lot of certain kind of things in movies if it's not what they like or what they used to. So it just be like a lot of movies stuff go over their head. The point of the movie sometimes go over people's head around here because they looking at it from a like they looking at it under the table. The angle you can't even see the whole angle because you down here under the table. We can still see if you stand straight up and see under the table, but we see the whole view. You can't even look up because
It's like their perspective's really narrow.
Yeah.
Like they're zooming in on one thing and they can't even.
Yeah,
And
like
the movie's
tunnel
trying to
vision.
tell them something. I mean, to me, that's why film is so great. Is it's a moving painting. It's something that you can like pick up so many different things off of. Especially the best filmmakers. I mean, they demonstrate this. They're
Yeah.
artists in their
Yeah.
craft for a reason. Whereas, like I think it's that's why it's frustrating to me to discuss movies with a lot of people because they just don't really seem to like. I'll watch a movie and think it's awful. I'll think it's an awful movie, and I'll try to tell them like, "Hey, man, didn't that movie suck?" And they're like, "Oh, it was all right." And immediately I know, like, "Oh, so they're just not like that was a bad movie." We both know that movie was bad, but they gave it like a 7 out of 10. I hear a 7 out of 10 on like a 2, and I'm out already. Like, I know you're
Some
not
people-
looking
some
for the
people-
right things here.
Some people see with my scale on movies and stuff like that. I'm kind of lenient because it's just like it's hard to make a classic.
Did you see Thor 4? Did you see the latest
No,
Thor
I
movie?
never. I'm not. I love Marvel movies, but I'm so not interested in Thor and Loki.
Oh, it's not Loki now. They had Christian Bale in this one. Loki, I think something happened to him. I can't spoil anything, but there's a whole different Loki storyline now. What is it about Thor and Loki that stops
I don't
you?
know. It's just something that cannot put my. It's things with me. I feel like a lot of things. I don't know what it is. It just be energies that I feel like I don't like, and if that's how I feel, I just be like, okay, I'm not gonna do that because maybe if one day, like, okay, I would watch. I have watched Thor movies, but I wasn't really paying attention. But like if my girl was watching it and I'm sitting there trying to spend time with her, I would watch it. But it just be like not interesting to me. I just don't. I don't know what it is with me. Like things that I don't like, it's like I make myself not like them or something. It just. But Thor and Loki, out of all of the Marvel, I watch Marvel and all that shit. Like mostly all of the movies. But it's just those two that I don't know what it is. Just make me say I don't like them.
I'm this. You know what's weird is I didn't watch Thor for the longest time, and I watched all the other ones just like you.
Yeah.
I don't know why either.
Loki, I just told somebody this the other day. I realized what it is about Loki. Loki looked like he's still to me. Like he looked like he just takes stuff from people
Well,
for
that's
no
his whole
reason.
thing. I mean,
That's what I'm saying.
yeah.
I've never watched it, and it just seemed to me like he a thief, like just steal shit. Like I hate.
I want to
thieves.
watch that
I would
guy.
slap you, man, if you ever take something.
You automatically don't like him because you just
Yeah,
know
I
that.
hate.
You know
grew
that
up-
archetype. Like you know that type of dude.
I grew up around a thief. I'm gonna punch him in the face so hard. Like, man, why did you steal that? Got people looking at me like I stole it, but your thief ass did.
You little god of mischief, motherfucker. Whereas
shit.
Thor's just kind of a dork. I feel like in a way, maybe I don't know. Like, what is it about Thor that's not appealing? Maybe he's just boring, and then like to compare to the other superheroes, and that's what stops it. I think he just is automatically kind
I'm
of boring.
pretty sure that's what it is. The boring. He is boring, and he be sounding fucking slow sometimes. The fuck, Thor?
Like Thor, you're a god. You should probably know this type of thing.
Yeah, like
Like, just
what the
because you're
fuck?
not from Earth, you don't know.
Man, you want to know what's so fun about since we talking about the superhero? You want to know what's so fucking funny to me, man? How DC was trying so hard with they superheroes for all them years, trying to push Superman so fucking hard.
Batman was the '80s, even. I feel like.
So I'm talking about the
Superman was way back.
the
Yeah.
DC ones, the newer ones. Like since Marvel came out and DC started
Oh,
doing
when they started to do their own universe, DC universe. Yeah.
they've been trying to push Superman so hard on us, and we will not take it. As soon as they drop Black Adam, it kind of just pushed Superman ass out the door. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Well, they lost the guy who plays him too. I think.
That's why I feel like that's why he seen The Rock come in there, make that movie. That shit was so interesting. It was just like it kind of reminded me of a Marvel movie. How interesting it was.
You
didn't see Black Adam?
No.
I like it. It's not like the best superhero, but it's just interesting. It's not like that boring ass Superman that they've been putting out. To me, I mean, it's decent. It was decent. The Superman and Batman, it was decent.
It could be so much better.
Boring though.
It could
like
be so much better.
even the movie that they made with all the superheroes in the one movie
You're
was
talking,
fucking boring.
Justice League.
It was boring.
Yeah. And it's like, how are you fumbling this ball? That's how I feel when I'm watching those movies.
Look, man, I gave it so many chances.
Because you want to like it.
I'm talking about, I smoke, so I was smoking, fall asleep. I will remember where I was at, wake up, start the movie over, and make sure, like, if I missed something, rewind it. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Well, this is what I'm talking about with, like, watching movies with some people sometimes. So I'll watch these movies, and it's like, to me, that's objectively bad. Like, it's just, I can't even get interested in this. That's how bad of a movie this is. But they're down with it, so I can't even have a conversation now.
No, I talk to them kind of people too, man. I like to see all dimensions of shit, just to see where you coming from, because it might amuse me. We might laugh about it. It might be real. You might come from a real ass place with that shit. Like, damn, you know what? I did not think about it like that.
And maybe I'm just setting my bar too high. Like, maybe they just enjoy movies. Maybe they don't have to have this high standard.
Maybe.
They just like it. They just went to the theater. Or they pulled
That's
it up on Netflix.
That's kind of how I am, though. That's kind of how I am, because I mean, I watch a lot of hood movies. Like, you can't have a bar high when you watch fucking Master P. I'm about it. I'm telling you, bro. If you ever seen Master P. I'm about it, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. And you might go and watch it, and you gonna be like, what the fuck is this? I just heard somebody say, I can't even remember what I was watching. He said, they said, what's the best movie of all time? He said, Titanic. What's the worst movie of all time? He said, any movie with Master P.
But is it like bad, good? Is it a good kind of? There's different kinds of bad movies.
It depends. Okay.
Like, is it so bad it's enjoyable?
It's me. It's because I'm ghetto as hell, man. I'm hood. I'm so fucking hood. And it's just a hood movie. This was the first hood movie I was ever introduced to. And it was like kind of interesting. Like, a regular movie is a regular movie. You got the plot, the scheme, and the motherfucker go up and down and climax and the end, and you feel me? You go on a ride with this movie. It's just, and then it look good, like they got the nice filters on it, so everything look all smoothed out. This shit rough, like this shit rough, like it's different, and it's talk about shit that you see though, like I mean, from Flint. You a kid and you around your daddy doing this and your mama doing that, you might be exposed to some different shit, and it's some shit that we might be exposed to on this movie now. So
you
it's
identify with it.
Yeah, so and then it's like this was the first one. So it's like it's not like the worst thing, but I feel good because it's a rapper doing it too, and I'm listening to his music. So let me look at this, and he introducing his other friends, and he got all his people, and like you seeing all the artists on his. That was another smart thing by Master P though, like how he did a lot of them movies, and like knowing that certain markets that listen to his music was gonna tap into him, and he was keeping his artists paid for one, in your face for two, so you know what they look like, who they are, and shit. Some of them end up going and doing other gigs with acting and shit. Cause I would see some of them like, damn, that's you feel me, but it just be like
Yeah.
light shit. But you know,
It's kind of like a multimedia thing. Like you just want to be in all different places at all different times because you never know who you're gonna catch with
yeah,
anything.
yeah,
I mean, like that's why I think even podcasts are a great idea because you might catch somebody with your podcast and then they're gonna listen to your music. Like it might be the opposite of what you're
yeah,
trying to do, but it
yeah,
still works
yeah.
out that way.
Yeah, but like them masterpiece. All of his movies not that bad though, cause I got the hookup. Like, but it was on a comedy end because AJ Johnson's so funny, man. Like he's so funny in that
Is he just
movie.
like naturally funny, one of those
He's
guys?
so funny in that movie, man. Like that he was kind of like Day Day before Day Day. Yeah, he was kind of like Day Day before Day Day,
I
like
feel
an
like
irritating, funny ass hood dude. Like he just was so irritating, but he was funny though. Like man, this motherfucker tripping.
But like, was it a bit that he was playing? Like,
No,
is that just kind of who he was?
yeah, that character kind of was him. Well, when he did that interview later on, I kind of found out that he was a little more serious. But you know, like his joking side, he was kind of like Mike Epps a little bit, but he was like super goofy. You seen
Yeah.
Friday, right?
Yeah.
Ezel, the
Okay.
crackhead.
Okay.
He was he's Master P's right hand in this movie. You never seen I Got the Hookup?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Him and Master P have a ghetto flea market. Like it's so hood. It's like when you walk in, it's like in some gates, and they got different stations, and some people selling stuff out of the back of trucks. He like got clothes and whatever you need in this motherfucker though. Like you can go get insurance and
Sounds
all
like the
kind of
place to
crazy.
be.
Yeah, you can get all kind of crazy shit. And how did they end up? They end up getting a phone service. Like they got like some it was when flip phones. They end up getting a phone service, and they was running it out of the flea market and had the whole neighborhood with cheap phones, and it ended up being like a messed up service. Like you got to get the lines getting tangled, and it's funny though. It's pretty. I liked it.
Okay. All right.
But it's just like a lot of those movies were in the hood movie category, so it just was like I don't I'm a lot more lenient on a lot of shit because of these types of movies
Are
I've
they
been
still
exposed
making
to.
these movies? I don't
Hell
think
yeah.
they are.
Boosie ass won't stop making the motherfuckers.
Oh man.
I fuck with my nigga Boosie though. That I fuck with Boosie. He keep making them motherfuckers. But and that's another thing about it too though. Some of them be pretty. The storylines be straight. If you can kind of get through some of the people's bad acting, it's
Yeah.
decent. So it just be like some of it straight, but you know some of
Throw
that
it a
shit.
pass on some
Yeah,
parts and you can enjoy it.
If a hard critic like you would be like, oh man, what the fuck is this shit?
Maybe I'll respect the artistry of it. Now that
Maybe.
you put it in that light, maybe I can watch it
I
in
mean,
that
you know,
way.
because like I said, About It came out when I was young, man, and I think I caught it like when it first came out, so it was just like different
Yeah.
to see all that shit on the TV, like the shit you see, like damn.
Are you a fan of The Wire?
Yes,
I think The Wire does that in such a great way, where
Yes.
it's so realistic about everything.
that's
it portrays.
crazy. I go back and watch that like all the time.
It's such a timeless show because I
All
mean,
the
it's just
time.
it really in the end, it's a show about people and just the natural way that
I
people
wish
are.
I wish they would bring that back
Oh,
any
no,
way
see
they
that's the thing. They're
could.
gonna if they did it. I cannot imagine they could do it
The right
justice.
way. No,
Yeah.
that's the only thing. Cause and then they killed off so many people with
Yeah.
Chris and Snoop. If they wouldn't have
Oh,
did
oh
the
man, we didn't warn them for spoiler. If anybody had,
oh
it's
man,
okay. Skip like 10 minutes ahead if you don't want to hear any more Wire
my bad.
spoilers.
I ain't want to
Because I was
spoil.
about to say like
Yeah,
give them a little spoiler alert, but no, yeah, I know, right?
they
And
made
dude,
it.
Omar,
Yeah,
and they just died.
he
Just
made
as like
out
that,
of
out of
nowhere.
that. You
Like
can't even. There's no way you would see it coming because it's. But the thing
yeah.
is, that's the only one of the only shows that could have done that because it's just that's how it goes. That's literally what it is.
Yeah, that is how mostly every. Oh, that's crazy. Just out of the blue.
Mm-hmm.
Most people that get took out on there. That's how it go though.
Yeah, and that's why this show does it so well because they're not glamorizing it. They're not giving you this crazy death scene where they get to have a speech and all this. It's just
Up and out.
yeah. And that's what happens when, especially when you are the person that puts yourself in that life. Like but I guess one thing the show did so well is that it shows they don't necessarily even put themselves there. You're a product of the environment.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, man, that show is so brilliant in the way that it portrays that life and the accuracy in which it goes about it. And I think that's how you properly shed light on that environment too. You
Yeah.
do it justice. You don't
Yeah.
try to sugarcoat it or
Yeah,
make
or
it
play
sweet
too much, or yeah.
because it needs to be what it is. And
Yeah.
then people see it and they're like, oh my god, that's like my house.
Yeah, then they take what they think from it. They take it from what it is. You don't just try to make somebody think something from you. Just put what it is out there.
Yeah, like you literally just let it speak for itself. Because it does. It really does.
Man, I was just sitting here. While you was talking, I was listening for sure because I got a chance to respond. And I was trying to hold this thought, man. I just saw something they was talking about how they think when they landed on the moon was fake. Craziest part, man. All the stuff they were saying could have been up in the air, a lot of stuff, until they said, because I didn't think about this. You remember how they showed the footsteps
Yeah.
on the moon?
Yeah.
They don't match the shoes.
Really? Really? Are you sure? Where did you see this?
I don't know if that's true. Like, because the footstep that I saw, it did not match the shoes.
Is
Like
it
the
still
bottom.
there? Do you know if it's still there?
You know, they got the suit that they wore on the moon.
Yeah.
We need to look into that. I need to look a little more into that.
Dude, the moon landing is one of those things where the more you look into it, if you have that curious mind and you're thinking it might be possible that this didn't happen, so many things come out as red flags.
I'm trying to
I'm torn, because I don't ever want to say definitively that anything is real or not
It's
real.
so much stuff, man. That's why TikTok is the devil.
TikTok, the reason
The
TikTok's
devil.
the devil in that sense is that they will find out that you are the guy that would believe in that thing, and then they'll send 10 more of them your
They will
way.
flood your life with that shit. You will be in a corner somewhere. Like, I can't believe I used to believe what I believe, but now I don't know what to believe.
If you were schizophrenic and you were on that app, oh man, they would feed into your schizophrenia so hard.
Man.
They would tell you that cheese produces cancer. They would give you these crazy random things that don't even make any sense. Like they would start throwing some curveballs in there, but like they would start with the easy
Bro.
ones like the moon landing and JFK and
Bro,
yeah.
I have been listening to some people talking about this food situation. Shit.
Well, when you look into a lot of the stuff with food, it does get pretty wild. Like, especially with the American diet, if that's specifically what we're talking
And then
about.
I was see, it'd be a gift and a curse if you let people be as you let people be as smart as they want, and there's all this information out there. And then like okay, you would tell somebody that if you eat this way for so long, or I mean, if you eat this way, this is what makes you stronger and blah blah blah. But after so long, you like having your whole family got heart problems, and you might have calmed down and not eating what your family eating how they eat, but you still like your stomach backed up and all, but you still following this diet, and then as soon as you switch it or just start doing better, doing things better, you see like I don't have that feeling no more. Like I don't never feel that way no more. When I eat, I don't feel like I'm stuck to the couch and still like. And then you would come across stuff like people who do science on food, how it react in your body and what it do, how it break down in your stomach, and your stomach actually is not breaking certain things down that you're putting in there. It's just kind of chopping it up and it's just a sludge, just like type of stuff like that. And
Yeah.
it's just like it get scary and you start seeing, and then not even that. If they were to actually give us what they are telling us, what they giving us, like okay, we eating a cow, we might be eating a burger. You eating a cow, but they ain't telling you what they put in this cow to where when it get in your stomach, it's not breaking down like a cow that ate the grass. It's breaking down like a fucking cardboard box in your stomach.
That's why I have to stay away from the fast food. I don't even try with McDonald's no more. I know too much about that. I mean, that's like the extreme of what we're talking about too. That's
Bro.
it's all over the place. But when you go to like somewhere where it's mass produced like
Bro,
that,
when I seen that chemically separated chicken, I was done.
chemically separated chicken. Now tell me more about that. I need to know
It
details.
just looked like somebody poured some white Play-Doh in a box. It's supposed to be the chicken that they making chicken nuggets and the sandwiches.
Oh, that's McDonald's? Oh,
shit, nah, McDonald's make everywhere.
Oh, no way. No. Chicken sludge?
Yeah, like
no.
you pour some acid on the chicken and it separated the chicken from the bone.
And you know what it probably is? It all roots from like this idea of mass production. It all roots from this thing where we want to send it all out
chicken
and let it
milkshake.
sit for as long as it
You
can.
ain't eating nuggets, you eating a chicken milkshake with bread on the top. A fried chicken milkshake.
And like that, and I've gotten more paranoid about my preservatives. I'll like check the ingredients and I'll see high fructose corn syrup and I shake my head. I can't drink Powerade no more.
Bro. It ain't even that. It's with this right here, that cranberry juice right there, or anything to say from concentrate.
Yeah.
They have taken every nutrient out of it. If it's a nutrient in that drink that's made from a concentrate, it's a man-made something poured into that. It's not like what you get from, like if it's a cranberry juice and there's cranberries in there, it's not the cranberry, the actual, I think it might be 12.2 grams of this, and I'm gonna put this nutrient in and put that. It's not the actual.
Yeah.
It's been sucked out of it, and then we just got the cranberry flavor with a bunch of sugar and shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think the only way around it is to like know the farmer that grows the cranberries and know that he squeezes it himself.
And juice and stuff like that. Like it's hard. It's hard out. What they say on Hustle and Flow is hard out here for a pimp.
If you're trying to like eat right, yeah, it really is.
Man.
I mean, I've even had someone tell me that grass-fed meat is like a million times better than regular, just any old.
I would like to find out.
Yeah. And it's more expensive. I know that when you go and buy it. Of course, you're going to pay more if it's grass-fed.
That's why we need to, everybody get together, get us some farms.
Yep.
And get our own stuff so we ain't got to be buying.
Well, back to conspiracy land, we got Bill Gates buying up all the farms. So, I don't know if that's even a choice at this point, right?
Don't get me started on Mr. Gates. Did you see that lady doing that interview with him when she was asking him, like, how do that qualify you to be a what is it? A community mental? I mean, a
Oh, I didn't see
community
this
health
one.
activist, and like how are you in this area if you a person that stole a computer idea that wasn't even your, like she was on his ass.
Do
I
you know if
said,
this
man,
was it a like popular news service or was it some random interviewer?
I'm not sure.
I
I'm
just
not
wonder
sure.
how they even got him into that situation.
I'm
Because
telling you,
most
man.
of the time, if you're interviewing Bill Gates, it's because you're the person that is not going to ask Bill Gates any wild
Questions like that.
questions.
Yeah, that's man. It was crazy though, cause she,
I bet he squirmed. I bet he squirmed good.
yeah. What did he say? He said that's a childish way of thinking about it.
With Bill Gates, I just learned about the interesting flight information with him and Jeffrey Epstein. Like, it's just kind of because it's not just one thing that came out. It was like originally they said they kept changing their story. Is the whole thing with Bill Gates and his team? He kept changing it and saying at first, "Oh, I've never even met him," and then there was proof that he's met him, so he had to say, "Oh, well, then I did meet him," and then it came out where it was like, "Hey, you flew to you met him multiple times."
That shit is so high up.
Yeah.
If you, it's just best to not even. If we ain't gonna really attack that and
Oh, this
really
is a comedy
about,
podcast. I'll say that. I always say it every time. It's the perfect disclaimer.
no, I'm
This is
talking
a
about
comedy podcast.
I'm talking about the people who trying to attack that issue. If you don't have the right connections and the right places, it's just best to leave that alone, cause that go up high.
Oh yeah.
That
Well,
go
yeah.
up high. You
Well, that's why I say it's comedy, because if they want to come for me for saying anything, this is all bit. We're just joking around here. But I mean, like, yeah, there's some synchronicities with all of that. I mean, I enjoy the theory that he is just part of a bigger thing. That's the theory I enjoy. That Jeffrey Epstein is not this lone figure. He's just the lone figure that was made an example of. And there's plenty of these guys.
he just red-handed. He
Yeah.
got caught with the shit on his hands. Y'all, everybody else put their hands in their pockets and behind their back. Soon as they seen, like, oh shit. Who wouldn't though? You think about it, as when you was a kid in school, the motherfucker who got caught pulling the firearm, you might have pulled that motherfucker too, but you ain't get caught, did you?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, you wouldn't finna be like, when he got caught, you wouldn't finna show your hands like, yeah, I did it too. No,
In this instance, literally, snitches get stitches.
yeah, that's a different type of stitch right there.
Yeah.
Stitch your ass up.
And I mean, it's just wild. It's wild. I mean, it sparks so many different ones. That's where you got adrenochrome and Pizzagate and all that good stuff. It all sparks out, I think, from this one big seed. I don't know. Maybe that stuff existed before Jeffrey Epstein. But
Yeah.
he's been on the radar for a while.
I mean, I don't know how long he was in that realm of doing that, but hell yeah.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah, that definitely.
I mean, I think the first big reveal with that would be the church with the big molestation scandal back in the, was it mid-thousands? That was a big one. I mean, that was the first time that a curtain was pulled off of something like that in a big way, to where people now are like paranoid about. Because before, people weren't like that. They didn't worry about that.
You want to know something? It spread across more churches than they even talking about too, because every time that come up, everybody want a Catholic church, but it's going on in some other kind of churches too. You ever saw it's going on in a whole lot of different areas.
I mean, it must just be something to do with that role, like it's the role
Feeling
that
like
the pastor or the whatever
you
that
over
is.
and
Yeah. There's some
See,
type of control that's
man,
just
it
manipulated
go back to
there.
a lot of how we are programmed without us even knowing it.
I think the best example of that is the Stanford prison experiment, if you've ever heard of it. I mean, that was like the it's something that can't happen now, and it was unethical even then. But at Stanford, there was a professor that made it so they all agreed to do it, but like half the students were going to be prisoners and half the students were going to be guards, and they were just going to play that out for, I think it was 2 weeks.
They made a movie about that, didn't they?
And there was a movie, yeah. but it's based on the real event.
Yeah.
Like I don't even think they embellished that much. Like it got extreme.
Yeah.
Where the guards are like practically torturing these guys just because they can. And
I
that's just
think
a
I saw that
minor
movie.
example of like how humans can so easily fall into
Into
this
that,
role.
I
Yeah.
heard of you ever heard of the monkeys in the cage with the bananas on top of the ladder? You never
Maybe.
heard that one?
Tell me about it.
Okay, it's um say you put 10 monkeys in the cage. You put a ladder in the cage with some bananas on top of on top of the ladder. Every time a monkey go up to the top and get the bananas, you spray all the other monkeys with water. After a couple times of that happening, all the monkeys getting sprayed with the water gonna pull the monkey down off the top and whoop his ass. So
They associate the two things.
okay, after a while, you take out half of them and you put in some fresh monkeys that don't even know that. Once they go up, once one or two of them go up, get the bananas and get their ass whooped. The other ones don't gotta go up there to see that if you go up there and get them bananas, you getting your ass whooped, and they don't even know why.
So it's like training the behavior, and that could be manipulated
That's
easily.
how they are doing with the, with so much shit.
Yeah.
Like
Because
it's
they train you
programmed
that you can't go up the ladder.
all
Yeah.
the way down to the food that they putting around, this accessible to. It's so much shit that they use to control those type of situations, but it's happening. That's how that shit go, and people fail to realize it because they don't look at it like that.
I think AI is going to make that even worse. Because, I mean, now there's so much less effort that's going to be put into climbing up the ladder. And everybody will think they can to the point where nobody will want to do it. Like, you already see this happening a lot with, like, coding and things like this. People don't want to learn to code because they can just type something into Chat GPT and pull out some code. Or album art. I don't pay artists for album art now. I just generate some AI art and just use that. I mean, it looks better and it's cheaper. I can do that so easy. Don't get me wrong. I would pay somebody if I really believed in what they could do, but why would I go out searching for people when I know I have this reliable source? So it's like I have to imagine that's going to have a big effect on that. But it's in what I'm saying is that it's just in every facet of society. Even like it's just going to happen more and more with that ladder. That ladder will just get more and more impossible to climb. I think it has to do with the structure of the way things are now too. I mean, it's an impossible ladder to climb just based on the design of it. Like Bernie's whole thing he was running on in 2016 was how the top 1% has all this, and then the other 99% is like so much less money than that top 1%, or even that top 0.1%. That like it's like that scale is tipped so far that it's impossible to even believe you're gonna be one of those somebody who's
0.1%.
even living comfortably. That is a dream. Like if you want to have hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, you got to be on top of your shit more than almost everybody else.
Yeah.
And that's not like a crazy amount of money when we're talking about how rich some people actually are. So it's the scale is so off that I feel like it's so hard to even fathom like how anybody could climb that ladder. Like somebody, you have to be it would probably take the biggest asshole. You probably got to be the biggest asshole who's just willing to
You
make
can
as
say
much
that.
money as possible, not
You can
not
say
depending
that.
on anybody's feelings.
You could say that, but living in America, it's so much shit. There's so many loopholes and back doors you can go through.
Yeah, that's true.
I guarantee that if it's some shit that if you found out and if you had a couple dollars in your pocket, you could make every homeless person not homeless. For real. Like I could really just
All I need is a
do
money
this
printer.
this one. No, not even that. Like some legal shit. Like if I was just a good hearted, good soul person, I could do this shit get a couple dollars, do this shit for myself and just go around doing this for homeless people. But it got to take them to wanna do it
Yeah.
too, because they have to actually like fill shit out and go to these places and hand this shit in themselves, and you have to actually give these documents so you can. But it's a way that you can really go around. But it may cost a couple dollars per person. But if they do the necessary steps while you're showing them what to do, you could definitely flip a lot of shit up the other way, and you will fuck a lot of shit up with with the government. It man,
I
it
don't
get
know
wicked.
anything about is how does this work? Like, how does one even get involved in that? Would I have to know the right homeless people?
No, no, no.
I don't know if I understand the concept.
It's something that's available. If you have a birth certificate, it's available. If you have social security, it's available. But you just have to know certain things and be able to go get these documents, fill them out right, have this, pay for that, and it'll just that quick. And you got to know how to fill this piece of paper. It'll be just that quick.
Knowledge is power. I mean, like, I think that's why lawyers tend to have like the most, like, they'll tell you what to say, what not to say, what to do and what not to do. Like, when you know the law, you know the way around the law too.
Yeah, that shit is like a mental prison.
Yeah.
Like they got a lot of us, and that like with that police thing we was talking about too, with the lingo, and it's like a prison within like the society too, because how they how they got that system set up, and for us to not know how a lot of the things are working, and if we were to know like some freedoms we have, and we like with that what I was just saying, like man, you can go probably $1,000 and take this man to go fill this paperwork out and sign this and switch your license over to that, and now this man ain't sleeping on the street no more. He $100,000 house, can pay the bills without even going to work and shit like that. It's just what you know.
It is what you know. I agree with that 100%. I think, like, that's why I say knowledge is power. I really feel like the more you move on through life, it's just a natural lesson you learn, even like, oh, the way I operate is not the way I would have operated 3 years ago. And it's because you know more. You've done more things.
Or shit, you might have been taught the people who you was looking up to was looking up to the wrong person, or it just so many different combinations. It just really take you to be able to sit back and look at shit and put it together to the best of your ability and do things that can help you and the others around you.
Yeah. Yeah. And figuring out how to do that in, like, because I think, in a selfless way, I would say how to do that in a selfless way. Because a lot of people, they're helping people to help themselves, I feel like. And it's like, you really want to help people to help them. Like, you want to actually be doing it for them.
You want to know what's crazy? That what I was just talking about too. That's when you just said about helping people for to help them. That's would be to help them. But I don't want to just help them. I want to help everybody. I wonder how much it would take of people doing that to turn to make the system start paying attention.
Yeah, because I think it's a collective consciousness type of thing where the more you do it, the more it becomes introduced into the atmosphere.
Because the thing that about this, it will be, I don't want to say messing with their money, but it would kind of be, and I wonder, the American dollar is already losing a lot of value. I wonder how that will work. Like if a lot of okay, say this loophole where we all get, I'm gonna say $2 million. That's not how much it is, but I'm gonna just say I can make everybody $2 million richer, and I do this for a whole, like, say I do it for everybody in Flint. Like, would that raise any red flags? I mean, it may not be a good situation to do it for everybody in Flint, but I'm just saying, just imagine everybody had the right mind and we was on the right track, and not to be out here to just don't destroy the whole city and we rebuild or some shit like that.
That's the whole idea behind what is it called? Universal UBI, Universal Basic Income. And that's what Andrew Yang proposes. I think it's a great idea, where it's like you give everybody, he was proposing $1,000 a month. Because for most people, that's either enough to pay rent or like almost enough to pay rent. Like enough to survive, basically. Unless you're in some really expensive area, for most people, 1,000 is plenty.
Mm-hmm.
And then the whole argument becomes, well, are they going to just stop doing anything at all? I think what you're saying is correct. I think it's the opposite. I think they would have that money and then they would want to do better for the world, and they would at least want more for themselves than this basic income they're getting. Like, oh, I'm only getting $1,000, but I could be getting so much more. And I don't even think, like, we don't even need to tax people more to do this. We already spend so much money on things. We could just move a little bit of money over and pay everybody $1,000 a month. And that wouldn't even fuck up our spending that bad.
Man, we spend so much money on stupid ass shit.
Exactly.
We should not have even been putting our hands, getting our fingertips dirty and shit. Like, the government is filthy, savage, hood, all the shit that the police make black people feel like we is. That's what the government is. Y'all some down low, dirty thug, nasty thugs. Yo, I don't understand this shit. I don't get it. I be sitting here, and especially when they paint that picture on all these different avenues and shit to make people look like this, and then it's you.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is, though. It's the reflection of themselves upon everything else.
I don't
they
understand it. Like, I've been, like, the picture that is publicly painted of, I'm not gonna say all black people, but how they put that out there, and it's just like so much negativity and bad energy coming off of this shit, and it's like, we got this shit from the motherfuckers who made the country.
Yeah.
Like, it's so many dead bodies just piled up in every state. Like, the cement is dead bodies. Like, they paved the road with dead bodies and then turn around and say some motherfuckers who helped build the shit that was getting made help build shit, and we the bad people now. Like, we just the fucked up people. Like, no. The people who came and slaughtered all these people who was already here, like, that shit is crazy. Like, y'all make the people who, man, fuck it.
I feel like the wild part too is you talk to people from other countries and they already don't, like, they know the MO of America. They don't really like America. Like America is only the best country in the world in America, and then everywhere else you
I
go.
put it to you like this, okay? I did not know how horrible America was like that on a lot of issues. Like, I did not know, because I'm an American, though. Like,
you gotta, well, that's one thing with going back to what we were talking about the amount of information we have now. I mean, before it was easy to get brainwashed by that whole image.
It'd be like the news and stuff like that. Like, it go all the way back to, I just watched the documentary and they was talking about that we provoked, which war was that? Vietnam.
Oh, yep. We gave them weapons and all this.
We provoked it, though. Like, I can't remember what was the story behind us officially going over there or whatever, but whatever the story is not what really happened.
Yeah.
It's a few other instances. I was told the Pearl Harbor thing, we has more involvement in why it went the way it did than we are aware of as Americans. Like it's a lot of shit like that that the army don't like. They gon' like cover it up. Just like
I mean, hey, back to conspiracy land. JFK's a big one. JFK's a huge one
I
because
was
it
just.
makes you
Have
ask a
you
lot
ever
of
saw
questions.
Fahrenheit 9/11?
Oh, but I mean, 9/11. That's an interesting one to look into, just because of the amount of
Gotta watch it.
conveniences that it presented to them.
Gotta watch
I mean, like,
Fahrenheit.
think about it this way: they needed to go into that war. Like that war
You
was, if you were
gotta
the
watch
American
it.
government, the war that we went into right after 9/11 was the ideal war for us to be in.
You gotta watch it.
I will watch it. I will.
gotta
You know what?
watch
Maybe I've seen it because it's older, right? It came
Mm-hmm.
out a long time ago. I went through my deep conspiracy phase back in high school, and I probably did give it a good watch back then.
What threw me into mine was when I saw that documentary that said America provoked Vietnam, and it just threw me into watching a lot of. Like end up watching.
Oh,
You ever
MLK is
saw?
another big one. I forget about MLK and the mysterious surroundings of his death. I mean, that one's
I was
Man.
told the FBI was charged with
I don't
his
know if they
death.
were or not. I know that like it's fairly obvious that they were involved, but
No,
I don't know if they were charged.
MLK, you know
MLK
about
Jr., yeah.
You know about him dying in the hospital.
Oh, I'm talking about just the fact that he got shot. I
No,
thought that the guy had
you
something
didn't
to do
know
with
about
it.
he died in the hospital.
No.
Yeah, you got to do some more conspiracy diving. You got to do some more conspiracy diving. Man,
I never went that deep into MLK. I didn't.
yeah, he was supposed to be suffocated or something in
Oh,
the
no.
hospital.
Really? See, and I wouldn't not believe it. Wow. And I think that when it comes to things that are out of question with the American government, once you learn just a couple of these ones that are like pretty easily verifiable even.
Shit, I was told Malcolm X how he was shot, right? You ever saw the Malcolm X movie? Okay, so the way he was shot, he was up on the podium, like on the stage, standing behind the little thing talking. And the dudes came out of the crowd and was supposed to shoot up. He was up on the stage, so they down. So the shot's supposed to be like this. I don't know how true this is because I didn't do the autopsy, but they saying the shots came like this. Like they was from up. Instead of...
Really?
It's some crazy shit going on with a lot of this shit.
I mean, I know both. It wasn't even just JFK either. It was his brother too. There was mysterious surroundings
yup,
of his brother's
shit too.
death.
But,
Robert Kennedy.
Man.
And
Man.
well, and to me, it just like
Man.
it goes back to the whole thing we were saying about
Man.
unless you got friends upstairs, like you.
You gotta watch Fahrenheit 9/11 because
I
they
will.
exposed a lot of shit. I don't want to talk about it, but it's just a lot of shit.
Well,
but,
I can just say this is a comedy podcast. Just to
Oh,
let
yeah.
everybody. These are all jokes. we're just riffing.
they got real deep on there. But like I said, I watched that. I cannot even recall the name of the actual documentary that was talking about the Vietnam shit. But that same day, I end up watching a documentary called Zeitgeist. You ever saw that?
No,
Oh my goodness!
another good one.
It depends on what you call good.
What is the topic
It
of
gets
it?
deep.
Like, what is it? What is it talking
Deep,
about?
Deep, everything.
Oh, okay.
Deep, deep,
Oh,
deep.
I bet I could find it pretty easily.
Oh yeah,
though.
you can find it.
Yeah.
You can find it for sure. It's a part 2 too, but the first one it get deep. And they was talking about that. They talked about a lot of shit, but when they talked about 9/11, it was a lot of things in there that make you think like, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It's a lot of but you
Kind of like
you should
with the moon landing. Same thing.
Yup, just like that. You should
very
watch.
easy.
You should watch Fahrenheit 9/11. Then maybe you watch
Zeitgeist.
Zeitgeist. It get kind of deep though. It's deeper than 9/11. It's deeper than. It's a lot of.
I like the deep one. Listen, I think my whole thing with conspiracies is I just enjoy even the thought exercise. Like, even if it's completely wrong, the fact that I'm even allowed to go there in my
Correct.
mind and
Correct.
think about it, like, that is
I'm
a
trying to
blessing.
tell you. Yeah, I like the mental exercise too. Like it's just working out your brain, and it help your brain with the what ifs.
Yeah, definitely. Because I mean, I think a lot of life is brainstorming and going into that what if territory, and so much of life too is beyond your perspective. Like, you don't know anything beyond you,
Man,
and
so
so
much.
there's so
J-
much you have to learn, or you have to imagine. Well, if it
that's
wasn't me,
crazy.
like, what would I do? What would they do? They're not me. And so all these conspiracies like might sound crazy, but like the more you think about things, it's like, well, I don't
Maybe
know. Maybe there's a world beyond me that I just don't understand.
just like I never was one of the flat Earth thinking people ever. Never was to even, but people been bringing up points lately. I'm not saying I'm a flat earther, but it's a lot of points that people bring up
I'll
that make
say
you think about it.
my favorite one is that there's not a real picture of the entire round Earth. That's my favorite one because it's true. It's just verifiable. There's not a picture of the entire round Earth. It doesn't exist. And NASA has never went up in space and taken a picture of just the Earth. Not even once. Every single time it's computer generated, like they're connecting a bunch of different pictures, but they admit it. So but they would have to. That's the thing. You can't get a perfect picture of the entire Earth. At least that's what the excuse would be. That's a fun one. I like that one because it's not wrong. The only way you could really prove to somebody the Earth is flat is taking them way up into space. That's the only way we could really know. Beyond that, it's like I'll entertain any theory because I haven't been up there, so I really don't know.
And then have y'all been up there? I don't know.
Exactly, they
I don't
haven't.
own a spaceship. I don't even own a plane. Do people even be thinking like that? Y'all be listening to NASA. Do you own a plane?
Yep.
And then have you ever flew on a plane? When you fly on a plane, when you go up over the clouds, do it look like the sun be like that, or do it look like it be like that?
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Now, and then people would say, well, if the Earth is flat, then why do you never fall off the edge? And it's because the center of gravity is in the center of a circle, and Antarctica is endless. That is what I've heard. That Antarctica is just this long plane that never
Man,
ends.
I've been seeing so much shit.
Because I don't
They
know how you'd
saying
explain that.
Antarctica, just the wall, just stop the
wall.
rest of the.
Yeah.
It just stop you right there, and then it's more continents outside.
That's
you never
what I've
heard
heard.
that?
That's the one I'm talking
like
about.
the firmament and all that shit. Like, bro, y'all fucking me up here. Y'all fucking me up. Don't have me around here. Just, I swear. And then, I think so much, man. I would be somewhere and see somebody that I usually see, I talk to, and would just look right through them because it's so much shit on my mind. Because of shit like that. I get introduced to the firmament and like, I mean,
Well,
I
you could definitely go too. That's why you were saying earlier, if you go too deep into something, you switch to something else.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's because of that.
Like, I'll be so into the shit. I won't even, like, I could love you to death, but just look straight through you, won't see you because my brain is just through. And I might be thinking, like, I might be figuring something out, calculating something in my brain, and then I might come back later, like, I just walked right past you, didn't I?
Yeah.
Like, I never explain that shit to people, too. Somebody just told me, like, you need to start telling people, like, you was thinking, but I be in so deep thought, and it take me sometimes, man, my brain have to think so fast, I would, like, let it chill. So it just be like, I'll be chilling, and I don't think to tell you, like, hey, man, my fault. I would just walk past you. I just hope you would be like, oh, he spoke to me now. Let's move forward.
Yeah.
Type
but
shit.
Thinking about thinking is a complicated thing to do, right? You literally have to catch yourself thinking about your thinking, and that's how you would let them know. Like, usually you're just so in the moment that you just do whatever you're going to do anyway.
Like, man, and it's just dealing with people, too, though. Like, man, I usually wouldn't even tell nobody nothing like this, but I just have to tell you because I know I see you in this place that we both here at, and I know you just walked past me, but I just was so in the moment, I just didn't even say nothing to you.
Yeah.
Like
See, I get caught on thoughts all the time, and I have to catch myself and just like, I mean, it's an art. I think that mothers are naturally good at it. I mean, good mothers, the ones that are the best, is like just what's the word? Active listening. It's like the best teachers are the same way. They're really good at hearing everything you have to say and then putting their words in. Like, not rather than you're talking and my brain is brainstorming the next thing I'm gonna say. I'm actually listening intently to what you're saying. And that's an art. Not everybody, most people I would even say can't do that.
A lot of people can't do that.
They don't know they can't even do it.
I was introduced to that late because none of my teachers ever explain. If a teacher would have explained that to me in school, I would have did so much better in school. But they are such tools. They just would. It's so many teachers is just tools. Like they be good. Some of them be good teachers, but they just wouldn't even think to tell you that.
Yeah.
They would be trying. Like in my high school, I had a lot of white teachers. If they would have thought to explain that to us like that, we would have had a better experience because that's what everybody was doing. We weren't listening to you to listen to you and then reply. We listening to a reply. Like that's what we got to say matters. No, the fuck it don't. You a kid. You don't know what you talking about. I'm teaching you. That's not, I don't want to hear that shit. You need to be listening to hear what I'm saying. Okay, now what do you think about that? Not what you finna say to combat that. Like that's how most kids coming up, well, in my era, that shit just, it looked like combat. It wasn't like they was trying to listen.
Yeah. And you miss so much. I mean, you're kind of just making yourself more ignorant by engaging in that. Like yeah, to me, I've just always been lucky. I feel like I just kind of recognized that principle early on. Like I just want to learn things. And if I want to learn things, and I still mess it up, I'll still feel like even interrupting is something that people like, it's kind of it's like an intentional break of that rule. Like if you just want to throw a thought in real quick, like sometimes it goes well, but some people you can't interrupt. Or what if somebody's saying something, what if they were on the cusp of a genius thought, a perfect idea,
and you
interrupted it? Yeah, so like I'm always way too self-conscious. I get that and I start thinking about thinking and then I stop listening. It's just a terrible cycle.
That would definitely mess up the flow too, because you may have something to add on or...
Yeah, but you're caught on what they said 3 minutes ago.
Or you might forget it, though, because you're trying to let them finish their point, and it just, yeah.
But I think I've seen people do it, smarter people than me, and they'll, like, pull out a piece of paper, and they'll write notes as the person's talking.
I won't be able to do that, because it's hard for me to...
listen and write at the same time. Like you
write my thoughts, like... what I'm thinking, think of what I'm thinking, write it out, and listen to you.
Yeah, because immediately I'm distracted. Immediately I'm looking at this, and now I'm writing, so I'm automatically not paying 100% attention. Yeah, so even that's not really a perfect plan.
No.
Right? I mean, that's why it's an art. That's why you just have to get better at it. I think that people who naturally, okay, so everybody's got probably low-grade ADD at this point with cell phones and all this.
I say that. We all have it.
It's just kind of impossible to avoid now. But people who are more afflicted than others are going to have more and more problems with it too. But then again, like, those are usually the most creative people. They're so in their own head that they're able to pull these crazy ideas out. So it's like it's a love and hate relationship a lot of the time. Like you want to be able to channel your energy in that way, but you have to learn to hone it, I feel like. You got to learn to zero in when you want to zero in.
That shit is hard, man.
It's hard, dog.
That shit is so
Especially
hard.
when you're learning about flat Earth and you're learning about how Alaska never ends and you're just thinking about that concept all day.
Like,
it becomes hard to talk to people.
What if somebody just took me out there And you couldn't just take me out there just to see you just one time?
You're like turning every conversation into something
I wonder,
about.
do I got enough money to survive to make it all the way out there to get the coat?
Yeah, yeah. Like I could be the one. I'll be the one to document.
Cause I want to see that shit. Cause I'm a real nigga. I'ma tell you, like, bro, it ain't nothing out there, bro, but a bunch of fucking snow. Like,
Wouldn't it be great to be the guy? It's like, no, it is really flat. Look,
like,
I
bro,
have proof.
like, bro, I really jumped off. They had put a rope around.
I jumped off the edge. I brought my camera with me. Look, look, look.
Look at this, bro. I jumped into nothingness.
Okay, and then if you have went this deep, I want to know, how do they explain the other planets? Do they exist at all? Is that, like, what is the explanation for the fact that you can see other planets with a telescope? How can you explain that? Because those are round. The other planets that you see in a telescope are round. So I've always wondered how flat earthers can possibly explain that. Because we can look and see them.
We see the sun and the moon.
And that they're round, exactly. So if that's all round, then why would the Earth not be round? Right? What's the possible reasoning for the fact that we're the only one that's not round? Is it a dome and we're just being projected images? Is
That's
that
what
the
I'm
answer?
thinking. That's what I'm thinking.
That's the only one that could possibly explain it.
Yeah, and then yeah, I guess so.
I just don't see how else it could all be, because you can verify it. You can actually look and see it. Like I think Saturn you can see through a telescope, Mars, and then there's one more, I think. But there's Venus. I think Venus you can see through a telescope.
Yeah, I looked at a couple planets in a telescope before. I saw.
Now, if that's a dome, it's got high definition, bro. That is a very well-defined dome.
But this is the government we talking about.
Yeah. That'd be the whole world at that
Yeah,
point.
the whole
They're
world
all
together.
in cahoots. That'd be a big passion project right there.
Yeah, so it would be, if it was that big, it would be like some shit that
See, man, that makes me think about like Truman Show.
they
and,
y'all,
simulation
that's the
theory.
type of shit that they would go the extra mile to make you like, hey, motherfucker.
Yeah.
But have you seen like some of the old maps?
Oh, the old maps of like Europe and this and that? Or...
No, like with the extra shit outside of Antarctica maps.
No, I have not seen those.
Bro, I'm telling you, TikTok is the devil. The fucking devil. I'm telling you, I'll be growing some horns my damn self. What the fuck is this?
I support it. Hey, that's some wild freedom of speech supplied by China, isn't it?
Man, yeah, they wild for that, man. Man, when I found out they was, man, they wild. Like, we know how the Americans think.
I know, like, it makes me wonder, because I do like it the most. Like I was telling you off camera, I like it more than anything else for promoting my music. I just feel like it's the best. Even the atmosphere, like the music I see on there, like it's more of a music inclined community where I don't get that from Facebook or Instagram. Like I'm only seeing other people doing the same exact thing I'm doing most of the time.
Man.
I just get other people's music, which is great. Like and all the comments are always usually supportive. It's just people being cool about music. Whereas
You want to know what's
it's not really
crazy?
like that on the other platforms.
You wanna
But
know-
let me just say. Oh, I lost my train of thought. Go ahead.
My bad.
No, it's fine.
I was just thinking about this social media.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever thought about, you know how when you saw the Street Fighter movie
Yeah.
when
yeah.
they put the dude in the little chamber like he was Blanca and hold his eyes open and make him watch all the shit.
Well, it's like I think that was them parodying Clockwork Orange, because that's what they did in Clockwork Orange. They opened up his eyes and made him watch all the movies.
all that shit.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about that? That's what we be doing with the
Wow. Great observation with the screens and just the constant. I think that's kind of like it. What's really interesting is when you see instances of predictive programming where it's like something will come out and then something happens a couple years later. Like I swear there was just this recent thing where they had the gas leak in Ohio, or the train thing happen in Ohio, and there was a movie that came out 2 years ago where it was
Just like that.
just like that, like down to crazy
The
specific
motherfucking, they
details.
keep putting these goddamn purges. They was making all the phones you can see each other movies and flying cars, electric cars, and all this shit. What we got now?
Yeah.
Like, it's, yeah.
And the Teslas track, yeah, I know that for sure. Because I just saw a Twitter post where they were complaining that their Tesla, because they were driving at night, they had to pay more on their premium because nightly driving, this is according to Tesla, nightly driving is more dangerous. There's more potential for danger, so they can tax you more on, like, what I think somebody said they paid $30 more monthly because they drove primarily at night. So that just makes you think about, like, my car doesn't do that. My car, I just drive it and nothing happens. I'm not paying a monthly fee based on where and when I drive. And that's the type of thing where it's like, you know,
bullshit.
it's the dark side of too much information. Like, you don't need to give all that information away. At a certain point, you don't want to be hooked into the interface. You just want to have that freedom. It's nice. It's nice to have analog things. It's nice to have a car that you have to drive rather than one that you can just choose not to. Because maybe after 20 years, you'll forget how to drive. You get behind that car again, and you don't know what the fuck you're doing anymore.
Yeah. The habit of just sitting there.
I think with navigation skills, that's a big thing. Like, I know that I suck at navigation because I've always sectioned that part of my brain off to navigation apps. At this point, I don't know road names because I never have to look at that.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy because one of my homeboys, when I was learning how to drive, he used to be like, you still don't know how to get around Flint. What's wrong with you? Like, we used to be doing dumb shit, like, to where if you get behind the driver's seat, you supposed to know where we going, because if we get caught, we going to jail. This motherfucker, I'll be behind the wheel, like, bro, which way I supposed to turn before I get to the light and shit? Like, man, that shit used to be so crazy.
In a high pressure situation,
What,
you're like, which way do I go?
Like, where I go?
How we getting home?
Get to the house, like, bro, if you don't learn some directions, I'm gonna beat your motherfucking ass.
Nowadays, Google Maps will assist you on your getaway drive.
Oh, man, if you do that, bro, you should not be no criminal. That's why I'm
That's
glad
true.
I
Don't
was.
bring the phone.
Yeah, no, don't do that. No, this phone, man. Especially finding out the shit I've been finding.
Hey, watch the first 48. Watch some more recent episodes where
It's
they're
so
going off the cell
wicked
phones.
with these phones, bro. Not even that. They tell you that they gonna track everything you do, and they track everything you do, and you agree to it.
One of the best. I mean, Edward Snowden's got great. I mean, he was the guy who really blew the lid off that.
Yeah,
but one of my favorite
he
appearances
ripped
of his that I've
drawers off.
seen was when he was on Joe Rogan, and he was just explaining it at a basic level. And he was breaking it down to, like, it's more than we even think it is. Like, every app has certain permissions on your phone. Like, it's not just the idea that the government's listening. It's like so many different parties are listening for so much different information. Like, you are getting spot on by way more people than you think you are, and it goes so much farther than you think it does. And I wish I could explain it as well as he could. That's why I bring up that podcast, because I just wish people would go listen to Edward
Shit
Snowden
like
talk
that
about
make
it.
me think, how do people not get caught for murder?
Yeah, good question. Probably because it's one of those things where it's random people having access to this information. It's not like the entire government has it. It's like secret agencies have it. So you can't, as the police, contact this secret agency and, like, oh, let me ask the FBI for this particular text that you sent. Actually, they do give away texts. They do give away
give
texts.
away
But, like,
that shit anyway. If
Yeah.
something big happen,
Yeah.
they gonna drop that shit right in their lap anyway. Here you go, Mr. Ossifer.
yeah. How do people get away with murder at all in this day and age?
Poor policing.
Yeah.
Poor policing.
Because, I mean, back in the day, you had better excuses as a cop. You'd be like, well, I mean, come on, we had nothing. Nowadays, it's like,
We got everything. We got it all. I just ain't want to do it. I'm sorry.
dude, what scared me, I was scrolling on Facebook, and I saw this video of, it was the police in a helicopter above the woods, and they had this guy on raid, like I'm talking a local police department, and it's looking like an army video where they can see his heat signature, and like he can't get away. He's in the woods, and they're tracking his heat signature in the woods with a helicopter. I know Flynn ain't got the funds for that, but like I know they're beefing up the funds for all these police departments, and that's the type of shit the police department does. Is they'll buy these like army gadgets, and that sparks up some emotions in me, because as somebody who knows how police like to be, I mean, you throw some fancy gadgets at them, bro, you give them that, oh, they're gonna run wild with that
They
one.
already got the access to so much shit.
Yeah, they got a lot of cool stuff they can use.
What they need to be doing is doing some character judging for they pick these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Cause ain't no, bro, I don't get it. How do this shit keep happening? It ain't even, people gonna get shot and shit like that too. But these motherfuckers' character is so fucked up at an alarming rate though. It ain't like, I mean, it's good officers, good people to do the job, motherfucker. It's even hard asses that don't break the rules, but it's so many fucked up people like that abuse their power in that position. They shouldn't have it.
I just feel like maybe it's one of those things where it naturally attracts those people that would want to do that anyways. Like you wouldn't. It's kind of like politics. Like politics attracts the people that would manipulate it, because you, as a regular guy, like I imagine we don't want to be cops. We don't want to be politicians.
That's why I don't understand who made that, because where did the need for that come from if a regular motherfucker ain't gonna be like, all right, I wonder what would happen if it was somebody just in my business every time I did something. Like, what the fuck?
Well, it's probably like an exaggeration of the basic like protection that you would want. Like, it makes sense to have a security service. Like, if you have a business and you're in a shitty neighborhood, you should have security. Otherwise, anybody can break in, anybody can fuck with your shit. So, in that sense, probably makes sense to have some type of security for the neighborhood. But then you just get people who take that security
rather than
to the wrong
pay
measures.
A motherfucker to watch the neighborhood. Why don't we fix the motherfucking neighborhood?
I agree. I mean, I think rehabilitation over punishment all the way on pretty much most things. Like, some people are beyond the pale, don't get me wrong, but like, especially with drug use, like, you can't be punishing people for drug use. You have to help rehabilitate them, because that's just not gonna, you ain't changing no minds like that. You ain't fixing no problem. And then people have a problem with these prisons that are comfortable and these jails that are comfortable, but it's like, what do you want these people to come out as? Like, what are you looking for?
Yeah. Man, you take a already hardened motherfucker and then you go throw him in another place that's gonna make him even harder. Like,
yeah,
he gonna come out that bitch and stab you in your neck as soon as you leave. Like, why would you want to do that?
Exactly. And to me, it's obvious, but it's just some people just don't see it that way. So I feel that way about most things. It's like you want to give the person some type of chance to rehabilitate. And you always hear like crazy stories of people that have changed their lives and in all kinds of ways. I mean, life is this beautiful thing where we can change.
That come from within. 'Cause just like you can go to prison and come out a beautiful soul, you could come out that motherfucker Dracula.
Yeah. Yeah, you really could. Probably depends on how prison went.
Yeah. No, it's really you. It's you. I'm telling you. It's
you. Think
you.
So? Yeah.
Yeah, it's you. That bitch could be all fucking butterflies and roses up in that motherfucker. If you in there sharpening your motherfucking steel,
yeah,
you gonna stab something. You ain't gonna be in that motherfucker reading. You gonna be in that bitch ready to stab something.
Man, if you're the guy who has 300 years, you probably already are the guy that's gonna like you would never want to mess with the guy that has already got a life sentence. That's just the way it is.
That's like a rule, damn near. You don't fuck with them. Why?
Yeah.
Especially if you not the motherfucker that got 300 years either. You got to outdate. Why?
Yeah.
You don't. You're not interested in being alive. That's
See,
true.
that would kill me. I think, I can't remember if we talked about this right before the podcast or during, but I think what would kill me the most about being in jail is the fact that I suck at like conforming to the system. I'm just bad at it. Like that's why I like rap. That's why I like doing my own thing. I can just be myself, and that's fun. Prison, you can't do that.
No.
You have to conform to that
Nah,
system.
they will be whooping your ass.
Yeah, it would break me.
That shit is so crazy how they can just whoop your motherfucking ass.
I mean, the guards will whoop your ass. We ain't
I'm
even just talking to
about-
prisoners.
I'm talking about a lighter come on and all them motherfuckers get to putting on gloves and grabbing weapons depending on how big and aggressive you is, boy. Oh boy. I seen a motherfucker. I know he wasn't no threat. I know he wasn't no kind of threat. Cause he was telling them about how bad his motherfucking back was hurting. But they whooped his ass so motherfucking bad. Oh, his back was the last of his worries. They beat the shit out of that man.
And what was the reasoning? Just because he...
Because they told that nigga to shut the fuck up. They said shut up.
He didn't know the rules.
Bro, when they tell you to shut up, don't keep talking.
Yeah.
And that motherfucker, he went to the door. We had motherfucking 8, and we was going back in to sit down, and they was closing the door. He was the last person in. He said, "My back." The whole time we was getting our food though. He like, "My back. I need my medicine." Whoop de whoop. They like, "All right, we'll get to you." Whole time we just getting our food. So we going in. He the last person in. He turned and he's talking to the guard like, "My back, man. I need my medicine." He like, "All right, go sit down." They wasn't trying to hear none of that shit. He like, "Go sit down." So shit, he's still crying about it. My back. Motherfucking like 20 minutes go by. He knock on the window. He walked up there, the guard walked up. He like, shit, I told you to sit down. He like, "But my back, man." At this time, he don't have the door open. He like, "Man, if I have to open this door, you gonna have a real problem. Go sit down." He go sit down. He laid down and shit on the floor. You know, it's cold as shit. The floor, the cement still. He like, "Man, fuck this. Go to the door. My back, man. I need..." This motherfucker opened the door. Dude was sitting down like it's a bench next to the door. Dude was sitting down. He opened the door, bro. He done grabbed him by his shirt so fast. I never seen nobody get snatched out of a sitting position and fly in the air like this ever in my life. Grabbed him and snatched him out the door. He go flying. He flying, hit the ground hard as hell. Boom. So look, his body in the air, all you see is guards coming running out the back, putting their gloves on. Man, they beat the dog shit out that man. He was a little dude, like 125 pounds. The biggest guard put his knee all in his back. I'm like, yeah, he fucked up. His back hurt for real. They finna give you some meds.
Yeah. My neck, my back, my legs,
Bro,
and my
they
crack.
beat the shit out of that man.
Oh,
I'm like,
no. Man, I almost feel bad for him, but the other part of me is like, well, he should have known the rules.
Bro, no, he told him. He kept telling him, like, "Bro, I don't want to hear nothing." He thinking he at home.
Yeah.
You don't get no fucking aspirin.
Yeah.
Like, bro, if you don't get out my face talking about your back, you better deal with it.
Like, who do you think they are?
Man. You might see a doctor when you get up out of here. Go to the floors. This was like this ain't like prison. This is the county.
Yeah.
You in the bullpen, like bro. Man, you got to thug it out in there for sure. You definitely got to, yeah.
Man, yeah. Maybe, hey, maybe I'm completely wrong about myself. Maybe I would come out like a completely better guy. I'd be a pimp. I'd know how to sell cigarettes like nobody else.
Hell no, you don't want to go to no jail, man.
I'm not saying it's a goal or anything.
Them cigarettes ain't even, hell no. Fuck them cigarettes.
Let's hope I mean, I hope for everybody. Like, I wonder, it's just an interesting thing to think about even. Like, what is the percent of the population that has seen a jail cell compared to that hasn't? Because I imagine most of us don't know what a jail cell is like. Whereas the people who do.
TV had you thinking it's something so different.
Yeah.
So when them fucking doors close, you be like, oh, no, this it for sure.
Yeah. You don't want to learn. Well, we've done a good 2.5 hours. You got to wait.
Yeah.
Is there any message you want to send to the people before we wrap up? Is there anything you can promote that you might want to plug real quick?
I would appreciate it if y'all go tap into my music, all platforms, JOJAY-O. If it's anybody other than the fat dude with the dreads, it ain't him.
Beautiful. I love it. You kept it short and sweet.
For real. If it's anybody other than him, it ain't him. For real.
I love it. And folks, if you've watched this whole thing, you are awesome. Thank you for tuning in. You're a crazy person. You listened to us for 2.5 hours. Go outside and touch some grass. Thank you so much for being here. Ruse Radio, clocking out.